What's going on, Tamers? Welcome to DigiPod, the digital podcast. I'm your boy, Varni. This is my boy, Dan, and I just want y'all to know that we were right.
Yo.
If you didn't see the video that dropped on Saturday by my boy, DGU Dan, going over everything that we saw from the latest ban and restriction list. Ban and restricted card announcement.
Yo, straight up, I think we were about like 95% right. I don't think we hit I think we missed in the sense of missing GrowlMon.
Missing cards. Well,
we said GrowlX.
Right, we'll get there. We'll talk about that. Do we want to talk about locals, or are we just jumping into ban lists?
We'll talk locals.
All right, go ahead and talk locals. I was playing Grand Archive for the weekend in Boston. So yeah, I don't have locals. I don't have a locals to talk about.
Did you hear a lot of Boston accents?
Honestly, no, I didn't. No,
maybe because you were.
I really didn't. Maybe it's because I was in the city.
Normal people,
right? Exactly. I was in the city,
Boston
so it was like every just a mixing pot. I wasn't around any native Bostonians.
I didn't even know they had their own name. All right, cool. Bostonians.
I mean,
right.
Bostonians, Pennsylvanians, Philadelphians, Allentonians.
Yeah, but Boston is a city.
Pocanonians.
Hey, that's the one I made up. I made that one up when I was a kid. Straight up. Pocanonians.
Where are you from? I'm a Pocanonian.
Yeah, right. Because that explains anything.
I'm a Los Angelian. San Franciscan. Hey, for what it's worth, for real talk, for what it's worth, it's funny hearing about European people coming across to the US and then being like, it is so much bigger than I thought. And it makes sense why they can't just go from one state to another, because the US, even though it's one country, is technically made up of 50 independent countries. Yes, we have one overarching government, and then we have 50 local, air quote, governments with more local governments, right?
Yep,
but the regions are so different from maybe Pennsylvania to New Jersey isn't that big a difference, but Pennsylvania to Boston is a big difference. Or even in New York, upstate New York to New York City can feel like it's two completely different things.
People in New York City don't even acknowledge people that live in upstate New York. You know what I'm saying? Because upstate New York is a whole different breed of area. Upstate New York is PA. It's almost more PA-esque versus what New York City is.
Exactly. So you have the New Yorkans that are from the cities. Or you have let's just say the New Yorkans applying to New York City, and then you have the upstate New Yorkers, or in Pennsylvania's case, you have rural Pennsylvanians, just completely this country out there. And then you have the ones who are near, whether it's the Poconos or Philadelphia or Pittsburgh and all the more major cities. It's just there are such big differences. And of course, the same thing applies to Europe and other places. I mean, look at Africa, right? Everybody looks at Africa as this one big country, but it's not, because obviously there's
a continent.
How many? It's a continent, right? Exactly. And there's I don't even have a number, but I want to say there's at least 30 different countries in Africa.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
And it's for me,
and the crazy thing is, not all of it is third world country either. There's some parts that's very first world. South Africa, and people, for example, is first world.
Exactly. And people look at Africa they're African. No, yes, sure, they're African we are American, but they are Nigerian or Ethiopian or South African, which is an actual country, like you said. Yeah. For us, we may not acknowledge the fact that there are different states within the country, but we definitely have a lot of cultural differences. It's actually funny and also kind of interesting to see. I'm sorry, you guys.
I was gonna say you can have people that live in New York all their life and never go past the borders of New York, or same thing with PA or something. Someone from East Coast could never go to have never gone to West Coast ever in their life, and that's two different worlds what it feels like, because we've gone to LA and stuff, and it's like it's same in a sense of if you've been in like a big city, but different because the vibe is just different, because like West Coast civilization is just so much more like, I don't know, very chill about everything in comparison to like what we do. Like New York, if you live in New York, it's rushing 24/7, like, you know, it's kind of it's just different the way they vibe versus like how we do. And I'm sure like other states are like that too. Like if you go to Texas, it's different than like, you know, Florida or Indiana
or Illinois or Idaho or Minnesota, even, you know. Like I know going up to Boston, it really did. Like, I love Philadelphia. Philadelphia for the longest time was one of my favorite cities. Obviously, I'm biased. I live close to it, but I really did hold a big love for Philadelphia. But heading up to Boston, man, I was like, yo, this kind of puts Philly to shame on like 10 different levels, man. Like, no place is perfect, but they hit like a lot of like the right things as a tourist. And it also, just from talking to like a couple of the people there, it's like, yeah, it seems like they do a lot well for their city as well. And it's cool to see, especially considering, I mean, I may not live in Philly, but I keep up with a lot of the things that's going on in Philly. And it's just like, that's a shame. And then you look at Boston, it's like, yeah, you guys seem like you're doing the right thing. So like, keep it up. Like, it's cool to see. I'm sorry, we do this every so often where we get into like these real life topics on my Digimon podcast. And we don't like real life topics on my Digimon podcast, Dan. What the hell are we doing?
I don't know. But that's the difference. I feel like that's also what you were saying with the cities. That's the difference between like the states, because PA versus what Massachusetts is, you know what I'm saying? So like,
that's a fact.
I mean,
even Connecticut.
Obviously, we don't live in up that way, but like from knowing how PA is ran, sometimes just like it's the government difference. It's the personality, the growth of like what you are when you're here. I mean, I could go on for a little bit about this, but I know y'all came here for Digimon podcast, and you're sitting here wondering when we're gonna get to that talk. So Dan, locals. Yeah, locals. We had a decent turnout. We had 4 rounds of locals. I played Millenniumon because I didn't know what to play, and did pretty well. I got second place, went 3-1. And round 1, I played against Fish. He was relatively, I won't say like new, but he was newer to the game. Doesn't really play as much. So Millenniumon doing things, and I won 2-0. What else? Round 2, I played against Gino. Did you use Gino? Played against, he was playing Angels, and won that one 2-1. Angels was a tough matchup for sure. Being able to, you know, ace you whenever kind of hurts. It hurts early aggression if you want to do that with Millenniumon sometimes. But great thing about Millenniumon is a Digimon called Machinedramon that goes, I'm a digital of everything once. And so that's going to include Dominimon. That's going to include some aces. That's going to include some, you know, potential ace plays that you're going to stop depending on what the situation is of the board state. And that was super clutch to be able to do that. Zed Millenniumon, it's such a good card. Such an underrated card. If you play it out because of Millenniumon, you're going to get rid of something twice, most likely. And so Millenniumon also popping, and you do a lot of board control, and then the following turn you do heavy damage. I think I had a game where I evoed my Zed into I evoed over a Machinedramon, and I did 4 checks in 1 turn with it, and well, Varni disappeared. And so doing 4 checks, making Angels player, because they use their resources, their security as resource. So they were already at like 3-4. So no, they were already at 4. So I just went like full aggro evoed. We bottom deck something. We swung 2 checks. End of turn, we got overclock. Bottom deck another thing. We're going, and we're like, because we're doing it a lot, I know what the next 2-3 draws are, and they're not good draws because I'm making them have bad draws. And so, and then do another 2 checks, and he was able to like stop me from like winning the following turn, but I ended up winning the turn after. basically. Z is just strong with, second attack +1 underneath it. Who would have thought doing 4 checks, winning you a game, right? And so, pretty good. So I think that's what happened with game 3. Game 2, he ended up getting full control. I couldn't stabilize it, and he ended up getting it. And then also didn't help. I made I like rule shark myself on accident, if that makes sense. In the sense of I forgot rulings, not rulings, but I forgot like the timing of rulings. And then I was doing it, and I was like, all right, pop Delta from the Chimera. Wait, I can't trash my card off of Delta now. I gotta resolve the Chimera first. And then I was like, F. It just F me up. And I'm playing the wrong Digimon because I didn't have the correct one to evolve his stacks. And that threw off the whole game plan. I think he ended up getting rid of it too. And he got game at that point. But we got that one 2-1. Game 3, round 3, I should say. Played against Galaxy.
Galaxy.
Honest, I thought I was gonna be cooked. And then I realized Moon Millennium was a card. Not that I realized, but like I knew Moon Millennium was the card, right?
Moon Melee is tough.
Yeah.
Trash down the sure 5 cards. Bro, I like having my 15 cards in hand.
That man had 12 cards in hand the first time I did it, and he was so shook after that. So it went 3 games. It also went 3 games. I won game 1 basically on the back end of Moon Millennium because I popped my Millie, and then I played Moon. Millie comes back. Moon effect. My man's had 2 tamers, 2 the red tamers on board, and he had like 12 cards in hand. So I was like, how many cards you got in hand? He was like, I don't remember the number. It might not have been 12, but he had at least, for sure, like at least 8, no, at least 9 cards in his hand. Because I popped both tamers. And then he goes, like I said, I think it was like 10, 11, 12 cards, whatever, anyways. And I was like, all right, cool, you got trash to get 5. He was like, what? I was like, yeah, trash to get 5. And then I pop your tamer. For every 2. And then you also trash security.
Oh, that's so
he's just
mean.
Like, he's like, this is ridiculous. So and you know who the Galaxy player is, Varni. And he was like, having a thrill of his life at that point. And so that ended up happening. And then basically I won after that. Like, he couldn't do much because I put him at like 0 Digimon on board. He had nothing on board, no tamers, and he had to rebuild everything. And like I won like a turn or 2 afterwards, something like that.
Yeah.
And then game 2, he was out the gates and I couldn't stop him. It also didn't help. I think I didn't have a great hand, and so didn't get anywhere. Oh, the Galaxy, that's what it was. I was like 17 cards left in my deck. All 4 of my Millenniumons were within those 17 cards. I drew so much and searched so much to get to that point that I still couldn't find it. I was like, I'm never gonna win this game because I can't find a single Millennium. I had Moon.
What are the odds that you put 4 millies right next to each other?
4 of
what are the odds? You know what's crazy?
I saw Zed more often in certain matchups than I did Millennium. I was like, great, fantastic. I'm running 2, so but still, come on, You know
what's crazy? In GA, in my deck, I effectively run 8 Graceful Charities. And the last game I had of the day before I dropped, I literally had 5 of my Graceful Charities stacked next to each other. I was like, there's just no fucking way. This just isn't real. I pile shuffled, right? I pile shuffled and then I did some riffle shuffle. So I was like, there's just no way that I put 5 Graceful Charities within a 6-card proximity.
Yeah, it was crazy.
Just nutty. It's stupid how RNG works.
I was like, there's no way I'm gonna win this. I'm trying my best to hold off with the 1 Z I've seen and no Moon, no Millenniumons. And I'm like, Machinimon carry me. There's only so much they can do, the Machinimon in that deck. Same thing with the Chimera. And especially when you get to a Apollo stack or whatever it was, or Diana, and then the Grace double, super protection. I was like, yeah, you got this cheap. So then game 3 happens. Game 3 was crazy back and forth. So once again, I didn't see Millenniumon for forever, basically. And I get to a Zed. I do hella damage. I think I get him to one security. No, I rookie rushed him. I was rookie rushing him first. And then I ended up I got him down to like 3 security or 2, whatever it was. And then I went to Zed Millenniumon. And then got rid of his Apollo A stack or something like that. And because I know he like overflowed or something. Because I ended up going, I evo for 6 and then like Apollo Ace. So I think I was like at 0 or something. So here was my mistake that almost cost me the game if I didn't have this crazy turn, which I'm gonna explain in a second. I hard drop a Shademon because I'm like, all right, let me overclock, put him in 0 security. Ain't no way he could do anything with 5 memory, with no board basically. And it hit a tamer, I think it was. So I'm like, all right, cool. I searched Shademon, never found Millenniumon, but good thing I did. Like, I guess in hindsight, good thing I did because I found a Millenniumon when I needed to at that time. So cool. I do that. No problem. Like, all right. Ain't no way he deals with the Zed. I'm Gucci. This man went all the way to a Grace Nova with like 5 rounds of like protection or something like that. Deals my Zed. He's able to swing because he DNAs at that point. And then I'm just like, I'm cooked. Like, I don't know what I'm gonna do here. In the 3 or 4 security he hits, my man, because I already has one already called the Wicked God Emerges. He hits the Wicked God Emerges. So cool, I trash one, draw 2. Fantastic. I draw into a Millenniumon finally. My play. I have 2 Zeds. Oh trash. No. I think you're already getting my trash is filled with a whole bunch of Machinimon, Chimeramon, and I have them in my hand too.
Oh no.
So I go like raise a Gazi or some shit, right? I can't swing because he's a blocker. Cool, no problem. I go hard job Millenniumon, pop Grace, protects it. End of turn, I activate both the Wicked Gods. So I pot kill Millenniumon, play a Zed. I play out Millenniumon again. Zed activate, attempt to bottom deck, protects it. Millenniumon attempts to pop, protects it. Again, the Wicked God emerges. Pop it. Play my second Zed Millenniumon. Attempt to bottom deck, pop. Millenniumon comes back, attempts to pop. Finally pops him. And then overflows. So he's staring down 2 Z's and a Millenniumon at this point. And then I think overclock. Did I overclock? Did I have to overclock? I might have had to overclock. I don't remember. And so I pop with I deal with the Grace Nova. And then I win the following turn basically. That shit was so crazy. I was like, this is crazy that I was able to deal with it. Because if I don't, I'm cooked. I had what's it called? Machinimons. So I would have been able to like redirect his 8 Grace Nova attack and whatnot, and then come back, pop eventually. Like I would have been fine basically, but I was able to deal with him on my terms, so I was good with that. And then he couldn't like rebuild fast enough or whatever, and then I ended up winning the following turn. It was pretty crazy. And then round 4, I ended up playing against Omnimon in the finals. This is the jank ass Omnimon. Game 1, I bricked so hard that I could not play the game for like 3-4 turns. And within that time frame, he goes into a what's it called? Omnimon, CS Omnimon, does damage. I play Millenniumon with a Machinimon, give him 12, play for 12. If I found a Chimeramon, I would have been okay. Because I had Wicked God Emerges with a Zed Millenniumon, I think it was. So I would have been able to like deal with the board presence of like, all right, pop CS Omni, deal with his decode and like go from there because of the Zeds. But I never found even a Chimeramon to be able to bomb deck the Millenniumon and bring him back. And so I ended up losing because that final board was like triple Gabumon and a Omni CS. I'm just like, and with an Agu in the back, I'm like, I could deal with Omnimon, but then you have 3 Gabus that's still on board, plus the decodes stuff. And I'm just like, this is dumb. Whatever. Because I bricked so hard. I didn't even evo into a rookie. I hard job a champion after a while. Wasn't even like the good champion in the sense of dealing with like board presence.
Yep.
And I'm just like, yeah, ain't nothing I could do. And then game 2, I had a better game. and I get into a Moon Millenniumon, and I pop his Nokia, and then I realize like, oh, because this is a jank ass version, my man's just playing the old school Nokia, so you can still do the evos. I'm just like, ugh. All right, cool. Because I'm like, in my own head, I swear to God, in my head, I was like, I popped this Nokia. He ain't gonna be able to do jack shit because no Nokia's on board. And then like after I do, I'm like, oh yeah, it doesn't matter because you have white Nokia because this ain't an optimal build at all. And I'm just like, so he does the whole shenanigans.
You got beat
I'm just
by
like,
fucking jank, bro.
Yeah, but it's Omnimon. You can't like. That's how good Omnimon is in today's
Omni jank, bro.
That's because you haven't seen it in action. That's how good Omnimon is. That's how good Omnimon is nowadays. Like it could be a jank version, and you could still cook anyone almost because
That's
it's just so much more efficient, and so much more powerful than it was previously, and it's so a dead monkey, a brain dead monkey, you can run it now. That's how easy it became, and that's how good it became, and so
kind of
ended up losing because of that. Yeah, it is until you play it, and then you're like, "Oh, this is just dumb as hell," because there's no overflow anymore.
Would you? Oh,
yeah. And then now you decode. If I remove you, oh great, now you're reset again.
Yeah.
So it's hard. It's a lot harder to deal with. Their board is a lot more stickier. Even if you go Alter S, cool. They'll just Alter S and then pop out War Gray and Metal Groot, and you're gonna have Miracle on board. So you go, I dare you to attempt to kill me. Oh, you deleted me? Psych, we're going DNA. You know what I'm saying? So there's a lot of ways to deal with other people's stuff now. The best way for me to do that is de-digital off his CS Omni, so he doesn't get that, and then hope to God he doesn't have a Miraculous on board or the Omni in hand to DNA.
Right.
In my instance, thing is I didn't have like those two games were like, I wish I would have been able to play those games, but like the type of hands I was having in like rounds 1 and round 2, because those were like way more optimal, way more easier for the setups and everything. I didn't even get into a Zed. I would like to see what happens if I were to get into like a Zed. Like, what do you do with Zed Millenniumon when you can't really, like, unless you have Raid, which I don't remember if CS Omni has. I know Blitz Omni has. I mean, I know the Ace one has it. But like he's a 16k wall, and the following turn I'm gonna remove you anyways, type shit, you know. Right. Let me see. Let's see. Omnimon.
It does not have Raid.
Yeah, so you can't even attack over it. So you're just, because Zed Millennium Wild and Source is unaffected by your effect upon effects, and you can't suspend it. And so because I can't swing with it, so every time I have to overclock, and then I bomb deck, and then go from there. And if I have a Millennium, I could deal with the board presence. I could do a lot of things with it. So, but unfortunately, that didn't happen. So I ended up losing, and then got second place.
Loser.
Whatever.
So one thing I want to talk about before we jump into anything, I put out 2 videos. Technically, no, that's a lie. I only put out 1 video. I put out a video called The New BT22 Tyranomon Support Sucks! Cards and Coffee, episode 3. That video garnered a whopping 822 views. And
at this moment.
At this current moment, at the time of me looking at it, 822 views, 44 people liked it. That's 1 person disliked it, okay? Which means that 44 plus people understood what I was trying to say in that video. And then following it up, I went and I ranted about it on pod because we expanded on the locals talk. And then our lovely editor, Lucas, clipped it. And when he clipped it, I named the video, Tyranomon is trash! And the thumbnail is, Tyranomon being trash. That video then garnered 810 views with 21 likes and 2 dislikes. I just want to say, Tyranomon enjoyers, we rise up. And those people who disagreed with me, you're welcome. Because of my complaining, I have gotten us Tyranomon specific memory boost and training boost. I have gotten us dual color training boost. You are welcome. Hold on, let me break out my Maui. What can I say except you're welcome? I'm just fucking with y'all. Real talk.
Yeah, but this is just proof that Bandai actually watches DGU. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
That's what that means. That's exactly what that means.
It really feels like I'm not saying that they do, because I can't speak for them.
No,
but between the Tyranomon stuff and the banlist stuff, I feel like the dev team does watch DG content. There's just no way they don't, right?
I mean, realistically, we got the #1 Digimon podcast in the world. You know what I'm saying?
It's just like, what is the coincidence that I put out those videos? That was like July 28th and July 31st. And like 3 weeks later, we get the same thing that I said we needed. And I know, like, the stars could have just aligned in that way. And that very well may be what happened. But there's a sliver of a chance, just a sliver, that somebody at Bandai watched those videos, saw me say Tyranomon is trash, and say, you know what? This guy's got a point. we should give them a dual color memory boost and a dual color training boost and a memory boost that aligns with the new line that we just gave them, which was the entire reason I said it sucked. I didn't say that the cards weren't good. I actually quite like the cards. I didn't say that Dynomon is a trash, shitty boss monster. He's awesome. The situation about the deck is what sucked ass. And because of whatever reasoning, we now have consistency cards coming out for Tyranomon in 2026. But we're still getting them nonetheless. It is going to take freaking, what is it, Dan? Like almost 7 months for us to get those cards?
Yeah, I think it comes out in March or April.
It is going to take a minute, but we are eventually getting.
And by then, we might have the second wave of Dynomon support and get the level 7 too.
That's entirely possible.
Because I think EX11 comes out in February. Don't quote me.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't remember.
You know how do you know they listen to? Because the art has Tyranomon on it.
Right. It does. All right. So what we're going to do, how we're going to do this, y'all already know by the title of this podcast, and you already know because the ban list came out. We got to talk about it on the podcast. Ban list reactions. But what we're going to do is we're going to do a pre-comment review on the ban list prediction button. And then we're going to go look at the ban list. And then we're going to go look at the comments on the video that Dan put up. And then we're going to run across the Facebook for a comment. So starting out with some of the comments, I'm not going to read all of them. I'm just going to pick out some of these ones here. Mox Moonstone said, to be honest, if Purge goes, Knights is dead. If Purge goes, then Knights just leans more into a mecha mid-range. I disagree with that. Even just pre-talk about it, it loses a lot, obviously. That's a given. It loses how fast it can kill. Because it's not just Omni-X. Exactly. It's not like Omni-X is a big problem with Purge, but it's not just the Omni-X being the problem there. Obviously, yes, whether you're playing out like a Kentaurus or even like or you can ace, swing, and then gain 3 memory off the Purge because it has rush. Like, yeah, it loses that, but it still has, it's not dead. It just has a lot of legs now instead of being what is effectively, Dan, what would you say? Would you say that's the perfect sort of, maybe not perfect, but it's a really good mid-range deck? Would you call it that? Before Purge hit?
Oh, sure. Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Almost like the archetypal perfect mid-range deck. And now it is forced to lean into a more control style because it literally cannot kill you as fast. It has to lean into its more control archetype. So that's just where it goes. I mean, Omeka mid-range is still a thing too. I mean, I can most certainly say that because I love Leopardmon Ace, I'm just going to play 8 Omekamon and call it a day. But that's just me. Everybody's still going to have a different build. It's the one thing I've always loved about Royal Knights. Different builds exist. There are so many different knights, so many different abilities.
I think you have to go 8 Omekamon now because the old one is going to allow you to put the OmniX under Yigi or whatever.
Yeah, it's just it accelerate the sources. I mean, I played at least 3, if not 4 Mechamon in the initial build. And yeah,
at least now with that, because it's not an option, your opponent can deal with it in ways that's not on deletion. So like, it's gonna be harder for you to also get your stuff.
Mox Moonstone also said, I don't think the Garuru Ultra S combo is too broken, but it is borderline. Well,
broken
somebody at Bandai said, you know what? We gonna take that gas deck and we gonna drop it from premium to regular unlimited. Yo, that comment was funny.
Hilarious.
What else we got here? I don't think scrambles are a problem outside of Sakuya either. At least they cost more tempo than trainings and make you have to do game actions in the battle area. So I previously had a problem with trainings, and then we got the announcement for dual color trainings, and now I don't have problems with trainings anymore. Real talk. The one thing I hated about trainings was that unless you leaned into a monocolor strat, it just felt like Tyranomon, again, gotta use my boy. I played a red centric version so that I could play red scramble and red training so I could find Ryotaro. Then they gave us a freaking green purple line, and now it sucks for me to play this red training. But now we have a dual color training that allows me to do the same thing that the monocolor decks are doing. That's all I ask for. I'm now okay with trainings because now every deck is on the same, or maybe not every deck, but most decks are on the same playing ground.
Because it's the same thing with Greymon, right? Because it was never a red-black training, so you go on black base, but your best tamer is the black tie.
Yeah,
it's always been an issue.
Exactly. Yep. Did Greymon get a training that they can use or not yet?
No, because there's no red-black ones. The red was red-green.
Got it. So I like that because now they are giving those buffs to these multicolor decks that have lines just over the sets in different colors, and I at least appreciate that. So I have honestly no problems with trainings now. I still have problems with scrambles, and I'll probably always have problems with scrambles, but that's just mine and Dan's personal gripes. Ban season great. You see what the devs want and the disappointment players wish the game was. That was by dudes playing vid games. Yeah, I always love ban season for that. What else we got here? Cries about GrowlX. Lames GrowlX.
Man, how that one aged.
Listen, that's funny for 2 reasons. That's funny because pre-list, I said, there's no crying about GrowlX, all right? If you listen back to what I was saying, I didn't cry about the card. All I did was I acknowledged that GrowlX was stupidly powerful for birds. GrowlX and Phoenix were such strong cards. Phoenix giving end of attack to all on deletions, and GrowlX giving any body rush, and a deck that with those on deletions are playing out more bodies, giving you more ways to swing and close that game out. In addition to the inheritable being just trash on opponent's security, meaning that in the case of the bird deck or the Angry Birds, Bird Flu, whatever, end of attack, trash security, and then you go like Gallantmon or something, kill it, trash another security on top of the check that it already did, and then you have Rush Body to get another check and the Gallantmon to go in for Rush. Super powerful. Didn't complain about it, just acknowledged it, and I really did think, we'll talk about more about it when it comes up, but I really did think instead of hitting GrowlX, they were just going to hit GrowlX, but they decided to go a different route, which I'm not upset with, and we'll talk about that when we get there. Let's see. Shout out to Jaegerzard. Love Varni has to let us know the state of Tyranomon. Let them know, brother, where Bandai has put us.
So, hey, look, you did it again today.
I know, right?
It's a trend that's never going to end, it seems like.
Hey, we got it. We got there, boys. We won the war. For Parabolic Junk and Tropical Venom, it will just take a purple variant that is on deletions and can play bodies for abuse. Just how it from Digimon Gravity Crush. Parabolic Junk, obviously, got hit. I'll talk about Tropical Venom, and as will Dan. Greymon X Wolfhorn said Greymon X can never be released because of Greymon OTK. A long comment that I'm not going to go through here. I actually don't recall reading. Oh, no, actually, I do remember reading this comment a little bit.
Some of it's crazy.
I can understand why Greymon X is not coming off the ban, is all I can say. I'm so sick of pair bans. Galaxy is proof they don't work.
Huh?
The Blue Tamer.
I understand that.
Pre-list hit.
It did work.
For that particular combo.
These are different cards that popped up.
This is true. It's a joke that we do pair bans for newer cards, but older cards just get buried for doing significantly less. They didn't pair ban Matt. They just said no more, just bury problem cards. So sick of banning around cards, just get rid of them.
Yes, I agree on that one.
They cooked BLs and APOC with zero hesitation. I hate APOC, but it feels really dumb how some decks get murdered with zero hesitation, but then other decks can go on forever without being touched like Mirage did. And definitely agree with that. Additionally, if Bandai released more cards from the ban list, the player base wouldn't freak out as much when their cards get hit, but we've got cards that's been on ban list for years now, so the attitude players have is I don't want my cards hit because they'll never come back. So much that around the 6-month mark, I and many others won't buy any cards because you just don't want to waste money buying cards you can't play. It also means buying cards on a post-ban list is the way to go. So, you know, whatever problem decks are remaining, just going to be untouched for a long time, like is the case with Growlmon X, because I know that I didn't sell my Growlmon X's because I got a problem with selling cards, but my Growlmon X's are now stonks.
I feel like that right there is like I don't know, like, have you not played in other card games before? Like, this is a thing that happens that has a eternal format. It is what it is.
He said the TLDR and want Bandai to be more flexible and regular with ban lists to stop doing the pan pairs. I can agree. I was having this debate earlier with the boys. I just want more communication. It is all I want from Bandai, but that's asking a lot from a Japanese company. So it is what it is. Just ban both Galaxy. Same person said this was Tesmic. Just ban both Galaxy Tamers. I know Dan's with you there. And you know what? I agree with Varni and send Davis and Ken too. I honestly, that was my wish list hit. That and Scrambles were my wish list hits. I was like looking for Davis Ken. I was like, did they do the thing? Did they do the thing? I know that deck's going to come back to haunt me. And I'm going to look back on this very moment. And I'm just going to say, you know what?
I'm just going to look at Davis Ken. It's just like, Jesus.
I hate those two knuckleheads, man. I hate them so much. Oh, boy. My main issue with EX1 Metal Guru Loop is that it requires a lot of cards in hand. The Garurumon line can basically draw your entire deck. That's how I felt about it too, but you know, they decided to just say, skirt, we're not even messing with it. So you know what? Props to them. Leppy said, I have to disagree with the GrowlX loop. The reason the loop is annoying is due to rush Geel that allows them to loop. Being able to play just a regular Geel with no rush makes GrowlX okay. I had said, until GrowlX gives it rush anyways. Both statements can be true. Rushiamon is annoying and GrowlX doesn't make for healthy gameplay loops. Then Leppy said, again, no knowledge that GrowlX was going to be hit. Leppy said, then you can't swing with GrowlX and your loop is over. GrowlX was nasty with the loop because you can have multiple bodies swinging constantly. If you need GrowlX to give the Gi rush, you're missing on the third swing. But the big thing, Leppy, there is, this is from me getting cooked on stream with it. That doesn't matter. They can give that body rush, and then they'll just digivolve into I don't even remember what Digimon.
Climb up the line to GrowlX and then do it again.
No, forget about that. I don't even remember what this guy did because I forget how he DNA'd. But he just whatever the opposite body he needed was, he just went into Oryuken Ace because he kept turn. He DNA'd into Oryuken Ace and call it a day because you still get the body off of Phoenix X end of attack. You can give something rush, even if you give it self rush and then you swing, hope it doesn't die, whatever, and then DNA or you can ace, trash security, recover one, swing. Like it's just
Yep.
So, like I said, we'll get there. Well, we're talking about errata changes for Royal Knights. Can we make Oryuken Ace's effect when digivolving only? People spamming it as a Wyvern's Breath on legs that lingers the next turn is a problem for the game. And control decks that rely on protection effects, it's fine. It's in its own deck using the DNA Digivolve. Shouldn't be in Royal Knights. Also gaining the memory on the swing. That was from Benjamin Wiseman. Yeah, I can definitely like understand that point of view. It's definitely like, I'm good, right? And then like an Oryuken Ace gets dropped and you're just like, Royal Knights having the answer to everything.
You're really only going to see Oryuken Ace get dropped in Royal Knights. You're not going to see it get.
Well, that's the thing. Like
no one's really going to hard drop it in a different deck.
That was his thing. Like, it's just like he's okay with he said he's okay with the effect in its own decks, whether it's Alphamon or Chronicle, being the one digivolving. It's just Royal Knights specifically abusing the DP neg.
Well, clearly, Bandai had the foresight to give it the on play so it can be played in Royal Knights. So
that's the counterpoint, right? They're like, you know what? We're gonna make this Oryuken.
If they didn't want to,
what's always what's also funny to me? Why is Alphamon's? I guess it's because it's not a mode change, but why is Alphamon with the freaking Beast Dragon Sword a Royal Knight, but Crimson mode isn't?
Well, because Crimson mode was never a Royal Knight. That's why, like, he never became Crimson mode.
But neither is Alphamon with the Beast Dragon Sword. What is Beast Dragon? What is him getting the Beast Dragon Sword make him a Royal Knight with? It's
more of a form change than an actual like Evo. Like, it's not really anything that's different. It's like first mode, whatever.
So why does he get it? And why doesn't Gallimon get it? He pulls out the sword against Omnimon and try. He's still a Royal Knight. I need to rewatch Try.
Yeah, I mean, and other medias, he ran it because I think I forgot who I talked about. I was like, wait, he went to Oryuken mode real quick. He was there like, yeah, I think it was with Gino. We were talking about something, and I was like, oh, that was crazy. And so it's not.
I need to watch that media.
Like, it's more
and if you guys know in the comments, like, let me know. But
Oryuken mode is not really like a DNA per se, right? It's more of like what OG Oryuken is, right? Like, you hard evo over the Alphamon for 3 because you have Oryuken underneath it, right? Oryuken was there that was like, all right, I'm gonna give you my power. Yeah, but here's a weapon.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? that was pre-DNA, you know.
Right, but that's more what Oryuken really is than like an actual DNA per se. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's not like that much of it's weird. It's very weird when it comes to it. Because it's not like he changes. He doesn't even change. He just gains a wings and then the sword. It's not like he changes at all.
Why does Alphamon get this stuff and Omnimon can't get this stuff? You know, that's all I'm trying to say. Omnimon and Gallantmon, you know, why can't they get this stuff?
Omnimon got like 500 forms. What are we talking about?
Right, why can't they be Royal Knights too? You know what I'm saying?
Why can't?
No, they're not.
OmniX?
It's OmniX. It's all the X antibodies are Royal Knights.
Yeah, but Zor says Royal Knights, I think.
No,
you don't play
Zwart is not a Royal Knight.
Holy Warrior. Let's say Holy Warriors.
They're all Holy Warriors.
Oh, gotcha.
Zwart defeat, Alter S, Alter B, Merciful mode. They're all Holy Warriors.
Gotcha.
They are not Royal Knights. Which, again, yes, it does make sense. I'm just complaining that Alphamon with the freaking Beast Dragon Sword is still a Royal Knight, and Crimson mode and Omni's
mode can't happen
10 other variants.
Let me rephrase. Let's play that. Crimson mode cannot happen without Tagato, basically.
Hey, so Omnimon can't happen without Matt and Ty's Agumon and Gabumon.
No. There's a difference.
What? What's the difference?
That he was there by himself already as an Omnimon before, and that's just a different.
But he has he has the cannon and the sword.
That Omnimon is not a Royal Knight. He's not considered a Royal Knight per se.
Why does he have a War Greymon and a Metal Garurumon on his arms then?
Because he DNA'd from a War Greymon and Metal Garurumon.
Okay, and how did he DNA from a Metal Greymon and a War?
But that wasn't, Matt.
How did he DNA from a War Greymon and a Metal Garurumon?
Hey, you're asking questions I don't know. I don't have the answers to. I'm just saying there's an Omnimon out there that's not that, Look, that wasn't Ty and Matt. That wasn't Ty and Matt.
This is what I'm saying.
How does Xmon happen in the wild? I don't know. They just randomly DNA'd, I guess.
How does Xmon happen in the wild is a wild statement to say.
But like, seriously, right? It's not like you hard evil. You just got 2 random dragons that decide to go to mate,
Is there more than one Xmon in the Digimon world?
That we know of? No.
So Examon is the only
it's just
Examon.
That Royal Knight. Yeah, it's just that Royal Knight that we know.
Because in Omnimon's case, right? So I'm not disputing what you're saying, but it's just funny. In Omnimon's case,
I got
that
it.
Omnimon.
It's separate lores. It's separate lores. That's why I think also.
All right, we're moving on. We'll talk about fucking Digimon lore another day.
Here's the issue, right? We've never seen two Omnimons in the same area. You know what I'm saying? Like, so
because I was just gonna say, if there is more than one Omnimon, then how the fuck did these Omnimons get made?
Hypothetically, there could be another Xmon if a random Slayer Dramon and Break Dramon, I guess, DNA, I guess. I don't know.
If they pass the trial, because don't you have to pass the trial of the 7th Great Dragons? Or no, you have to pass the trial to become a Slayer Dramon. That's what it is.
Yes, because a Slayer Dramon, I think like lore has to like beat the trials, some shit like that, right? I don't remember. I don't remember the full. So he has lore, so I don't know.
So why is it that when Slayer and however Breakdramon DNA'd, why did the lore make Examon a Royal Knight?
I have absolutely no idea. How does anyone a Royal Knight? That's a real question.
You know what? That's a fact. How are any of them Royal Knights?
How is a champion level Digimon a fucking Royal Knight? All right, there you go. How is Magnamon a goddamn Royal Knight versus all of them that are all megas?
You know what? You got me there, Chief. I'm with you there because I can't answer that either.
Oh my god, they just like grouped out and ended up being formed together because of Imperial Digimon Paladin mode.
I guess so. He just said, you know what? Moving on, because we can talk about this for fucking days. Comments for that are over. So now let me share my screen. We are about to do the ban list reveal, although you guys already know it's on the ban list. So you know what's coming up here.
Go check it out.
Because your boy did a video. That's right. Why can't I share? Buttons aren't working, Dan. This is big.
For anyone that's saying,
oh wait, no, I got it.
I didn't make the title of the video, so you're complaining about you don't know what Scorched Earth is. I didn't make the title.
We'll come back to that later. That'll be in the post comment review. You guys are in for a long one, so stay tuned. So, ladies and gentlemen, tamers of all kinds. Roll, please. Bandai has given us the banned and restriction card announcement, which goes into effect this Saturday. Sorry.
September 1st.
What is it? Is that Monday? Yeah.
Saturday?
This coming Monday. Nope. It's this coming Monday, September 1st. The very first card is a banned card. It cannot be included in any deck EX5, 065, Sayo & Co. because they said we did a pair ban and y'all created another loop. We're tired of this shit. Get it out of here. By combining effects that activate at the start of the opponent's turn with effects that increase your memory, it is possible to quickly end an opponent's turn. Therefore, we have determined that repeating this move negatively affects the game, and we previously decided to make the banned pairs showed here. However, due to increases in the card pool, repeating this move will be possible with combinations other than these banned pairs. Therefore, we've determined that it won't be possible to use banned pairs to restrict this move. For the above reasons, you're out of here is banned.
Deserves to go.
It unfortunately does. It's
Deuces. We don't want to see you here. Goodbye.
I liked playing this card at 1 in my Galaxy deck just because it was a Galaxy card. But realistically,
so there was a chance I could loop him somehow.
Yeah, sure. No, not really. I just liked being able to put a Grace Nova on my opponent's board on their turn instead of on mine.
Yeah, the idea of the card where originally it was a 10-4 was like a good idea. Problem again with the whole goddamn archetype that they made originally. It was too generic. You could drop anything with it.
And it's funny because it's half archetype locked. Like you have to play Nightclaw Light Fang engine, but the Digimon you play don't. And I've always argued for these tamers because the idea of what Digi-evolution on your own Digimon does in the Digimon Dawn and Dusk game. But unfortunately, for as lore accurate as it is, sometimes it isn't good. to be lore accurate.
When it comes to TCG, correct.
Sometimes you have to archetype lock the effects because the things that they get access to are not things that are allowed. And I'll be honest, I do foresee a day where Ko and Sayo gets banned, restricted maybe, or just banned, because you can still Ko and Sayo into a free Valder Arm Ruin mode, OmniX. That's still a thing. So I do see a day where that ban comes around.
Oh yeah, they have access with Yellow now because of Apollo Ace.
Yeah, so I can see it. That's all I'm gonna say. Oh, that's that. Next up, we all called it, not just us, literally every tamer in existence. We all knew this card was going. I believe this is one of those cards that when players saw was not on the last restriction list, they said, you know what?
Let's abuse this. Yeah.
I'm going to show you why this needs to go. Gravity Crush, BT1. BT1. Gravity Crush, okay?
What a different era that was back in the day.
22 sets into the game, Gravity Crush is banned. Why? When this card is used in red decks that have greater attack capability. Sorry, restricted, yes. It is possible to win a game at quicker speeds than anticipated. As a result, the gap between attacker decks that can use this card and decks that can't has widened. For the above reasons, you're out. But it's only out at
Gotta go. Yeah. And it's I think it's fine at 1 of also because God forbid and security does absolutely nothing.
Personally, I'm with Mike and I'm with Mox Moonstone. I'm tired of these fucking memory gaining cards seeing the one restriction. Let's get them all out of here. But
we're never going to get them at zero at this point. So.
I know. Let me be, Daniel. Let me wish. You want HPD hit to 0. Let me talk about Grav Crush in the same way. Which for what it's worth, I think Mox Moonstone also said that HPD is Green's like memory gaining card, which realistically is sorry. Realistically, that's probably like very true. Like Tropical Venom, sure, like that's the 0 cost actually memory gaining card, but HPD just being like suspend Digimon and reduce the Digi-evolution cost by 5. By 5!
Hey, the fact that Green has multiple 0 cost busted cards, crazy, you know?
That's why Green ain't good anymore, because they can't abuse those cards.
Right.
Next up. Thank you. BT6 Parabolic Junk. This card has 0 cost and can gain memory regardless of the opponent's status. Keywords there. Limiting designs for future cards. For the above reasons, you're out. So yeah, Parabolic Junk, if you don't know, on deletion, one of your Digimon gains on deletion gains 2 memory until the end of your opponent's next turn. This card has always had the potential to be abused because black is the color. Black and purple are the colors that kind of care about dying the most. And I say black because of stuff like Etamon and Mamemon being like
Numemon,
deletion adjacent and Numemon, right? So Numemon, like they did use this card, not like abused though.
Sometimes. Yep.
But that's because they had Ukomon. They didn't need to abuse this card. And we see this card used in a Battlemon. Because, I mean, you know, why not? So it makes sense. Get this card out of here because, yes, regardless of the opponent's status, it doesn't matter what happens. If you die, you gain the memory. Gravity Crush, mandatory memory gain. What's that card called? Blinding Ray, Jack Raid, and Hammer Spark. They don't rely on your opponent's stuff. The only argument as to why Tropical Venom is not on this list is because it says one of your opponent's Digimon gains on deletion. Lose 2 memory, I think it is. Something along those lines.
Yeah, gain.
So I can understand why Tropical Venom wasn't hit right now. Based on what we have in the game currently, and depending on how Bandai decides to lean into game design, there will be a future where Tropical Venom does get restricted. But obviously, right now, they don't think it's a problem. And I mean, yeah, for what it's worth, it does require your opponent to have a thing on board. Personally, I'm more of a fan of we acknowledge that this card has the potential to be abused in the future. Therefore, because it's like all these other cards, we'll get it out of here. But I acknowledge that Bandai does not take that stance, and we live with it. So it is what it is. That's why Tropical Venom isn't on this list.
Yeah, until a green deck becomes broken or something, and then they are abusing it, which is going to be hard to do, honestly, in the current state of green.
Yeah.
It's not going to be touched.
Next up, BT13, Royal Knights of the Purge. It's a shame, but it had to be done. When this card and a Royal Knights card with powerful non-on-play effects are combined, they're poking at OmniX there. The win rate for Royal Knight decks are greater than anticipated, limiting the design options for non-on-play effects on Royal Knights cards. In addition, even though Royal Knight decks have normally had trouble with beatdown decks, i.e. aggro decks, this affinity has been reversed with the significant return of security effects, making one copy of this card have a great impact. Therefore, we have determined that we must correct this to a proper deck affinity. For the above reasons, you're out! And it's at 1. Yeah, we all knew Royal Knights was getting a hit, but we also knew that it wasn't getting dusted up on the ban list. It was just getting touched up. And I think this is the right hit.
Yeah, I mean, I called it on the prediction one as well. I think this is the perfect hit for it. Doesn't kill the deck per se, but definitely slows it down to probably the way it should be, I guess you could say. And you don't get, the perfect, if you go first, play Purge for like 4. The following turn, take out OmniX, 2 checks already off rip. If it's, again,
Sir,
perfect hand situation.
This costs 5 on the first turn.
Oh, is it 5? Okay, so my fault. I thought it was because, yeah.
Yes, sir. It costs 5 on the first turn. Okay.
Oh my God.
Don't make it seem that much better than it is. We don't need people. we don't.
Shut up. Anyways. And then the following turn, you go OmniX or something like that. And then it's just like, oh, well, how do I deal with this OmniX? Yeah, I probably can't.
I can't agree. Like, as a Royal Knights player, it is really super annoying when, like, even in the mirror, when like your opponent has purges and you don't, or you both have purges, but like they see the OmniX and you don't, and then you're just like, it doesn't matter what I put on. Nothing is safe.
Yeah.
So I honestly don't hate this hit. And as a Royal Knights player, maybe I should save this. No, y'all are here for the long haul. Y'all like podcasts. Y'all enjoy the long talk. So I'll mini rant now. If you hear like any Royal Knights player be like, "Oh yeah, I've never used this card,"
or yeah,
this card is a non-factor for me, or anything along those lines, they're whatever. I'm a controversial. It is what it is. They're a bad Royal Knights player. The same way that like I talked about why you should play 4 OmniX and not 3 OmniX. You actually. Let me one-up that argument. Okay, Dan. They've never used Royal Knights of the Purge, and this card wasn't good, right? That's what was said by some Royal Knights players, right?
Yeah, I remember reading those terrible comments.
So why did they play this card at 4? Why didn't they play it at, I don't know, 1 or 2? If it wasn't that good, or they never used it. Why was this not the first card they took out their deck when they wanted to put other things in? Why did they keep this card at 4?
I don't know. I guarantee for those that didn't play, that swore they didn't play it, they probably wasn't winning tournaments with. Like, no offense, like ain't no way you was not playing this card, and you don't. Maybe you're like coping and acting like that. Oh yeah, this doesn't affect me. And I'm good to go. Like, don't worry about it. Like, maybe it's a coping mechanic or something. Because I don't understand how you just be like, oh yeah, this doesn't affect me. No. Every goddamn player, whether you're a Royal Knights player or you're a non-Royal Knights player, knows this affects you to an extent. It does not kill the deck, but best believe that speed of your deck is way slower. Let me ask you gonna play that OmniX for 9, 10? 7, I don't know, and think you're gonna be okay? Go ahead, do your thing. I'm gonna make that. I'll make that. I'll take that 7 memory, no problem. I'll gladly You know what I'm saying? Like, ain't no one gonna be doing that. It's gonna be so much harder. Now you're praying for the Omegamons to die in a world of bounce, bottom deck, stun, put into security, put underneath another tamer or something, you know, stun them on the board and make sure they can never swing or block or whatever. Like, there's so many ways to deal with it besides just on deletion. It's going to be so much more hard for you to get to your win con of getting that OmniX underneath it. Now you might have to play more old school where you have to go, hope to God I get enough underneath and go Omni for game, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Let me just put it this way. Fact, not opinion. This is a fact. This is backed by statistics. No player plays 4 of any card that they don't want to see throughout the course of a game.
Fact. Just say that.
It is just so funny to read any sort of comment downplaying this Royal Knights of the Purge hit. Because if that were the case, every topping Royal Knight list would not be playing Royal Knights of the Purge at 4.
That's what I'm saying. That's like saying you're not playing Cool Boy at 4. Like, you know, like, why
some
would you
people
not?
don't. Some people don't. They play 3 Cool Boy. And again, I am of the opinion consistency is king. What do I want to see in my game? I want to see Cool Boy, I want to see Omegamon, and I want to see OmniX. Because those are the cards that win me the game. Those are the cards that help me secure the game. So
and
4 BT20 and Purge, right. But put that one aside. So 4 BT20 Omegamon, 4 BT20 Cool Boy, 4 OmniX BT20, and 4 Last Guardian. I want to see those cards. Those cards help me win. And even if they don't help me necessarily win, they help me stabilize and have a chance when I would otherwise not have a chance. I want to see those cards. I play for consistency. If you were playing 4 Royal Knights of the Purge, you were playing for consistency. That's all I'll say. We'll end on that. So,
one more thing also, on the Purge, real quick. The difference, I remember also reading, I've won games with only 1 Purge. There's a difference between seeing 1 Purge when you have 4 of them versus you only have the 1 Purge in your deck and you need to see that 1 Purge.
Oh, Last Guardian revealed 3 cards and one of them was Purge?
Bottom deck.
No, you can actually grab Purge on Last Guardian.
I thought you
that's the decision. If you reveal 3 Royal Knights, well, 2 Royal Knights and Purge, you might want to take that Purge, buddy. That's the decision. Realistically, that's the decision. That's what matters. Before, I'd be like, I don't need it. I already have one. Now, that is my only one. So, it is that much more important. I'm going to skip over this real quick. Okay, I'm going to skip over this. I'm going to skip over it. I'm going to scroll up. All right, so let's do this one first. Okay. EX4 Sakuyamon, Rush Sakuyamon. This card was now when they say Gallantmon, recognize that Bandai is not referring to the Gallantmon X deck alone. They are referring to any deck that uses Gallantmon as a boss monster. Okay, acknowledge that. Yes, GrowlX is the key part in the GrowlX deck for the engine. You still play Gallantmons, and that is what Bandai acknowledges, okay? This card was originally intended for use in Gallantmon decks for recovery in the late game turns or for additional attacks, but due to the increases in the card pool, it is now possible to set up successful attacks with Rush early in the game. As a result, the game speed has accelerated greater than anticipated, and this card limits the design options for future decks that include purple cards. For that reason, you're out at 1. So, Rush Sakuyamon. Yeah. This card was good for a very long time. And for a very long time, yeah, this card was only used at 1 to 2 copy. And then we got a deck that was able to put 20 cards in the trash and give you a way to spit these out from the trash. it was inevitable that this card would get hit. When I initially, like when the very first talks about hitting Digimon came up, I was never really a proponent of hitting Growlmon X. I, like in Digimon, like when I say Digimon, I mean like literal Digimon, not GrowlX decks. I just hated that they could build another stack that gained Rush because of this Guillemon, and with Gravity Crush, gain enough memory to build another Digimon stack and do the same thing all over again. Gravity Crush is now gone. So, all right, cool. They can't abuse that, but they can still play like Memory Boost and stuff. This is now at 1. So sure, if they see the 1 copy, that might be all they need. But I guess at least at the bare minimum, if they build a stack on it, they can't just spit out another one, which is something that I had happen. So I guess that's a plus. Personally, I would have rather just this card be banned for what it's worth. It's the purple card. It's the matte problem. I'm actually kind of surprised they didn't take the matte route on this, considering why they banned matte. But Dan, what are your thoughts?
My thoughts on this card is, so because of what they hit in total, I get why they hit this, but they still dodged the real problem, in my opinion. And we'll talk more about GrowlX after we talk about the rest of the rest of the cards.
Yep.
But because they didn't go in that route, then this makes sense hitting this card. Let's play that.
Yeah.
Definitely, you're gonna limit. I think here's my thing again. In anything that's not GrowlX deck, they're not gonna run as more than like 2 max. Anyways, like me as a purple hybrid player, oh okay, I already played as that 1. Who cares? You know. And so, and then same with any other deck. If you were playing like Leviathan without like because Leviathan was running like 1 of this at one point.
Yep.
You
still just run 1.
At 1 of it. Like, you know what I'm saying? So that's why I don't care that I got hit in that sense. And I only think it hurts Digimon, sure. It hurts the GrowlX stuff, sure. But you still have, again, we're gonna talk more in detail about it. Digimon is still gonna do Digimon things. Again, we'll talk more about it after this. But like the way they went, it's okay. It's a good.
I just wish it was banned instead of restricted, but it is what it is. Next up, EX3 Growlmon, the surprise hit that nobody called.
Correct.
This card, now, you know what the funniest part about this is?
What's up?
They used the wrong image.
Yeah,
this
they used the pre-errata one.
Yeah, they couldn't even use the right image. This card you don't even care about that effect. This card, as this card's name is Growlmon, and its inherited effect has Sec +1, the attack abilities of Gallantmon decks are greater than expected. Therefore, we have determined we must correct this to a proper deck speed. What this basically facilitated is when attacking...
It's not even just... I was about to say, it's not even just as a Sec attack +1. You got to delete something for it. That's what makes it crack.
Exactly. When attacking, pop another one of your Digimon, i.e. pop another GrowlX stack, to have this Digimon gain Sec +1. So this Digimon gains Sec +1, and another stack that you have is now deleted. And in the case of Growlmon decks, oh cool, I'll delete this GrowlX stack that has like on deletion, probably gain a memory, and on deletion, play the Guillemon, and on deletion, return a card, you know? So yeah, I understand it. I understand what they were trying to hit.
Right. So like basically what you do is when you come to looping, you try to get 2 stacks. So what you do is you get this one as your main one that has the second stack +1. Then you have, doesn't matter with the other one. If you have the memory gain one, great. You swing with this, you pop your other GrowlX. That GrowlX dies, you gain your memory, you grab whatever trash, you play Rush Guillemon. Cool. This dies. If this dies after the second swing, you're goated. Guess what? Do everything again. You play your Guillemon, then you evo up the chains, go into another one that has this inheritable, evo your other one, and then you just keep doing it that way. And that's what the loop is, basically.
Yep.
And mind you, you're gonna be graph crushing in between, mem boosting or whatever to make sure you gain all the memory, because you need at least 4 memory, because you need Evo 2. So Evo for free from GrowlX or whatever, Evo for 2, and then free Evo into your GrowlX. So you need 4 memory basically. Super easy to get when you have 4 grab crushes, a bunch of mem boosts, and so on. And your memory gain that you got from the on deletion. So that's how you loop it. You continue going until your opponent basically dies, or get to a point where you just drop your Gallimons for free.
Yep. Now, I'll talk about the other card, and then we'll start talking about GrowlX and Digimon and everything adjacent.
You mean GrowlX?
Yes, that's what I mean. We're going to talk about this, and we're going to talk about...
confused the way you were saying
it. We're going to talk about all the adjacent Growlmon and Bird decks. So, another surprise hit out of nowhere. BT16 Tyranomon X. One copy of this card has both an effect that gives rush and an effect that trashes security cards, making it very potent for reducing an opponent's security stack in Phoenix decks. With the current card pool, these effects can be easily activated in one turn, allowing one copy of this card to accelerate the game speed. I'm gonna be completely real. And we say it for what it is. Y'all can call me like a narcissist or whatever. I don't know. I feel like Bandai watched my game on stream against that Phoenix X deck, and they said, what the fuck just happened? Because literally, this wasn't even like on my radar. And we said in the beginning of pod when we was talking about the comments, I didn't even complain about this card. This card makes the Bird deck really freaking good. But I feel like they watched that OTK happen, and then it happened probably many times after that on stream. And I don't know, I don't keep up with the Japanese scene, so I don't know what they're doing over there, but I can only assume that they're doing the same shenanigans. And they saw all that, and they said, yo, what the fuck are you guys doing? Stop that. And that's why this card got hit. So before we talk about GrowlX, I guess we'll start talking about GrowlX. I didn't think that they were going to hit any Phoenix cards. I acknowledge that this card it's really freaking good. Let me read the effect. You may return one red Digimon card. All right. It's not even like a bird card. It's a red Digimon card from trash to hand. Then if you have Garuda or X antibody in source, you pop an opponent's Digimon with as much or less TP than his Digimon, blah, 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 whatever. Your turn, when a red card returns from your trash to the hand, one of your Digimon gains a rush for the turn. So I initially thought that they were going to hit GrowlX because you have this card in birds, right? And if you swing with Phoenix X end of attacks, GrowlX spits out a body. Phoenix X can gain because it's not the main body effects, it's the inherited effects it gains as on deletion. So the GrowlX spits out a body, and then whatever body it spits out the Guillemon, obviously, but you can just Digivolve and then Gravity Crush or Pop Mem Boost, whatever, Digivolve Garuda X, and then you can give like something else Rush, or if it's Rush Guillemon, obviously it would already potentially have Rush, and then you're kind of just, again, on deletion, you get to trash a security, and end of attack on deletion, you get to trash a security. I really thought they were going to hit GrowlX because Growlmon decks were just very potent. Digimon at a time was potent until they just decided to run Growlmon decks. And then Birds was using GrowlX to very great effect. And then GrowlX was also being used in a ton of other decks as just the generic draw trash, get cards in trash, because we have effects that play us out from the trash type effects. I didn't expect them to not hit GrowlX and also hit Garuda X. And personally, I'm fine with this because, again, I've always been on the fence about Growlmon X, and I'm inclined to say that without Gravity Crush at 4, and them having to actually play the game with us, with memory boost and training boost, that it's fairer to play against. And because of that, and because of them hitting GrowlX, I think the one big trend to take away is one copy of this card has both an effect that gives rush, forget everything else, and then Guillemon, used for additional attacks, recovery in late game. I think especially over the next few sets. Oh, and also Royal Knights of the Purge, because they didn't say the card, but they're obviously hinting OmniX. I think in the coming sets, there's going to be a design philosophy shift about the amount of rush abilities or the amount of attack on this turn, even if this thing came into play abilities that come out in the game, or also the amount of abilities that we have in the game currently that allows them to be able to facilitate that. That's my opinion. Go ahead, Dan.
I don't know about that, just because we've seen the new CS Digimon that are like, oh, we play a body alliance as a champion. So I don't know about that part.
You talking about the Hoodiemon stuff?
Yeah, it's not Hoodiemon, but they're Hoodie traded. Yeah, you're doing 2 checks with a champion that's 10k.
That's Hoodiemon stuff, bro.
We'll see. We'll see about that part. But anyways, regardless. GrowlX, good hit. I understand the hit because of that deck, right? For sure. And here's my issue with them not touching GrowlX. Sure, GrowlX might not be as strong per se as the other champion X antibodies that got hit on the list. That's obvious. The issue is that it's strong in what it does as a whole. And that's what sometimes people don't understand sometimes, I feel like. So cool, you hit GrowlX, put it at 1. You hit the Rush Guillemon, put it at 1. Grab Crush to 1. You still have a whole GrowlX engine, still. Like, birds can still play birds and have GrowlX and just play out, all right, cool, Phoenixmon swings, doesn't die. You still gain the GrowlX on deletion effect because it doesn't die. It's all your on deletion effects. Doesn't matter if it's bird or not. And so you go play out your body, you go, all right, cool. Sure, I might not get rushed. Draw 2 is free. Draw 2 trash 1. And you just keep building up your stack, you gain memories, whatever, yada, yada, yada. And so I'm still on the offense about it. I'm worried. I'm more, I guess it's the word I'm looking for. It's like
you're wary about the
wary of what's gonna happen
of
still.
what it gives,
because
right?
GrowlX is still around, so like the decks that are already abusing like the GrowlX engine are still going to abuse the GrowlX engine that wasn't abusing it this way. You know what I'm saying? As a GrowlX loop deck, and so like Digimon is still going to play the way they was playing it before, or Millenniumon, they want to run the GrowlX engine, can still do it no problem. They can go whatever. You got the Leviathan bottom end GrowlX engine or whatever. Birds can still technically do what they're doing. They're just not going to be able to be as strong because GrowlX got hit. That's the thing. So, and depending on whatever else comes out in the future, right? GrowlX engine can still be doing its thing. Digimon, I think, is still going to be really good.
Yes.
And so
100%.
Cool.
It's just,
they're going to still drop 2
fair.
bodies though, you know? And
but
so
it's going to be fair because they're not going to kill you in one turn.
And
they're not going
to roll and hit the Guillemon, and then that's it.
But they're not going to hit the grab. Like, you're not. All right, let me put it this way, right?
The grab crush is what's not going to kill us. Yeah, sure. They still do 3 damage, and then whatever happens.
But I'm fine with that, right? Because that's effectively a self-killing Sec +1 or Sec +2 Digimon. And Digimon in the history of the game has always been like a heavy-hitting Digimon. Like 13k, heavy cost Digivolve. All right, cool. It gets stronger the more the game goes on. But that first hit's going to punch you essentially for 3 security. And then, yes, they're going to spit out a body with the Growlmon end of attack, and they're going to spit out another body with the Digimon. But, like, that's fine, because now it's not like Gravity Crush, Digivolve, GrowlX, Digivolve, and then
they'll just have a bunch of boosts,
blah, blah, blah.
more boosts on board with it.
Right, and they'll have to actually play those and play the, like I said, play the game with you rather than lead the pace of the game.
Sure, so I guess, I mean, I feel like these 3 hits, I mean, let me rephrase, I was gonna say 4, because of Grab Crush.
Yes.
Separate Grab Crush. These 3 hits could have been mitigated by hitting GrowlX, and none of this would have even mattered, in my opinion.
No, but Gravity Crush should have gone anyway.
Besides Grav Crush, that's what I said. Besides Grav Crush, these 3 cards right here, you hit GrowlX and it doesn't even matter, in my opinion.
Right, and so this is probably a topic for a future pod because we can probably go on for a minute about this, but the problem that you have with the idea of GrowlX existing in the game, is that really a bad thing? Is it bad for us to have a generic engine? Right.
It depends on what happens in the future.
Exactly. Is it a bad thing for the topic for the audience that we'll talk about in a future pod is it a bad thing to have a generic engine that is used by multiple decks? Like I was okay with this Phoenix deck doing what it did. I got killed by this Phoenix deck not using any Gravity Crush, right? So I acknowledge how strong GrowlX is for that deck. But for what it's worth, I shouldn't have died to this on stream, and I probably would have had a chance because
your own fault with the scramble situation.
Right, that was my own fault with a scramble that wouldn't have given them a piece. So I like the deck is powerful, but I don't think it's like super busted. Granted,
Bird
now
by himself is dead probably.
Unfortunate. I mean, GrowlX was such a, as Gino said,
so much it carried.
Now I have to tap my tamer that I wasn't even playing to give my Digimon Rush. And Dan, that's why I said, like, I think they might look at limiting the amount of rush effects that they're giving stuff, because yeah, we had effects on body either to have rush or to gain rush. And yeah, they took this rush away from the Phoenix deck. And now to get rush in archetype, you do have to play Akiho to tap it to gain rush. And in the case of Growlmon decks, you have one copy of this Sakuyamon, and obviously you still have the Gallantmons, but those require you to build up your trash to a certain point to be able to drop those Gallantmons. And a change like Gravity Crush being gone and these cards being at a lesser quantity, let's forget it. Let's not even say this Growlmon was here. The change in like this being gone and GrowlX being gone and Gravity Crush being gone means that the tempo for both Angry Birds and regular Growlmon decks slow down enough so that you are playing the game with your opponent, and it might make a card like IPM Ace actually worth it. I'm not necessarily saying that it would be worth it, but because of how fast those decks can go and punch you in the face, especially with the likes of Gravity Crush and how they can just still build a stack, with Gravity Crush being gone, they don't have those burst turns anymore. And that has really slowed the speed of the game down. We're going to get to the other hits for the other deck in the format that was like super fast. But I think the tempo has now slowed down to a reasonable level. And I think this opens up a bit. Now, on the flip side, Omni. I acknowledge how people talk about that deck and how strong it can be. But if Omni is going to be a really good deck, then I think it's fine that GrowlX didn't get hit. And obviously, because the Royal Knights are still going to be around, even without Purge, or without Purge at 4, I should say. This means that Growlmon decks, whether it's Gallantmon, Megidramon, or GrowlX decks, can still be around, but they're going to be fairer. How fair is Omni going to be? I don't know. We'll talk about that later. Maybe we'll talk about that different pod. Let's move on. Let's talk about some other cards. Gas. Dan, I don't know anything about this. I'll read the reasoning and I'll let you have this. Sure. EX1 Metal Garurumon. With the increase of the card pool, this card's when Digivolving effect can be used repeatedly in a single turn, making it easy to gain a lot of memory. As a result, the potential design of future Garurumon cards would be greatly narrowed. Therefore, you're out. Let me just say, I knew I always hated this motherfucking dog.
Yeah, goddamn stupid wolf ass, fake ass, reptile ass looking, you know.
Go ahead, Dan. Talk about Gas.
Yeah, Gas is pretty cool deck. You're looping, and that's why they killed this. And so essentially what are you doing is you're playing like all low end Garurumon stuff, like all the ones that had like, that's like, yeah, Garurumon. I don't know if that's like Garuda
No, you said Guru.
All the ones that says, okay, cool. The ones that are like generic when attack and draw 1 cards, basically. So I think it was like the promo Guru. I think there was a GrowlX, I think has it. No, not the GrowlX. One of the Gabus, I think, has that. And one of the Were Gurus maybe have it. Whatever. Anyways, so just so you can like draw. The point is you get to EX9 Sagittarius, you raise that stack, you hard drop your EX9 Blitz Greymon, effective Sagittarius. When Sagittarius sees another Greymon or Mat get played, you evo into a Digimon with Garurumon in name for free. So you evo into this, you gain your memory, then you at the end of turn with the the Blitz Grey, you DNA, swing with Ultra S, and then Ultra S end of attack, you pop, split them out. So the crazy thing about Ultra S, you can play Blitz Grey and you play Sagittarius mode at the same time. And so when you do that, Sag sees it sees Blitz Grey, which is dumb. You evo to Melga again, and then you gain your memory, and you keep doing it again, and you're just looping free memory basically at that point. And you just keep doing it until your opponent is dead. And so that's why they killed this. This card was never being reused in like anything really, realistically, unless it's something that was generic, degenerate. Also, like realistic, like you only saw the card pop up now just because of what it could do with Ultra S, and being able to, because I think even Garurumon barely played
used
it.
to
It was
play
like
it at like 1, but then they got better Melgas.
Exactly. So like you don't even really care about this. The only reason they care about it is because what you could do in a looping sense now. So it won or it topped a Gao. So that's why they had the results, because this is EX9. This is an EX9 deck, not a BT22 deck. So that's why they hit it. Obviously, they were going to hit the good card, which is, Ultra S. And so they hit something that was going to kill the deck or almost kill it. I think I heard people talk about trying to...
Say the words, Dan.
What, kill it?
No. Say the words. The words you always say about Bandai and loop decks.
They always want to get rid of loop decks.
They always hate loop decks, and that's really what it boils down to. They hate loops.
They hate the idea of looping effects and stuff like that. So
yeah,
that's why they got rid of it. And I think people are trying to remake the deck, except without this.
Yes.
And let's see how well that goes.
They're trying to take the gas from being premium to being regular unleaded.
And so I think it's a good hit. It's a really good hit on that. If you're not going to kill Ultra S himself, this is a good hit in my opinion.
Yep.
And so,
that's not to say that Ultra S won't be hit, but topic.
Was this deck always going to be better than like Nokia Omnimon? I don't know. I don't think so. But it was still a thing that you could do though.
Right. Next up, one of
the whole Sakuya lines.
Or one of 3 hits. Yeah, one of 3 hits. BT19 Sakuyamon. The card that said for some, somebody, I gotta watch what
Someone was on crack when they drew this.
Okay, you said it, not me. Who the fuck said, when digivolving, draw 2? Excuse me?
Let's rephrase this too. Let's rephrase this. Hold on. That 2 shouldn't say 2. It should just say 3. Because, you're always Evo on draw. You draw when you Evo, so you draw another 2. So it's draw 3 for no reason.
No. Say it better. It's when digivolving draw 4. No, actually, it's when digivolving draw 5. It's when digivolving draw 5, right? Yeah. So when digivolving, you draw 2, then you may use one single color option with a cost of 5 or less from your hand, right? So let's paint the picture. You have Digivolve into Sakuyamon, you draw for Digivolve. That's card number 1. You now draw 2 for Digivolve. You then use Green Plugin for free. Green Plugin says, draw 1, and then Digivolve, and draw again. You have drawn 5 cards off of Digivolving into one Digimon.
Combo, when you do the full combo, it's like a 9-card draw you do. It's so stupid.
Is it because of Taomon?
You don't. Yeah, like if you go from like, I think it's like, because I think I counted it one time. Like if you go from if you go from like Renamon to like all the way up, it's like 9 cards you're drawing. It's so dumb.
So you Digivolve Taomon and use options. So you get a card draw for Taomon's Digi-Evolution, plug in to Digivolve. Let's just say you're using plug in to Digivolve, right? So plug in a Digivolve, you draw
I'm
one.
adding like Renamon and Cubemon to this too.
I'm not going to add it. I'm just going to say from Taomon, but Taomon, draw for Digivolve, green plugin, draw for card effect, and then Digivolve again. So you draw for Digivolve, and then you draw 2 for Sakuyamon's Digivolve, and then you use another green plugin. So now you draw for green plugin, and then you draw for the Digimon you Digivolve into. So you've drawn 7 cards just for Digivolving for 3.
Yeah.
You Digivolve for 3, draw 7.
Not 9. Yeah.
Digivolve for 3 into Taomon, draw 7 cards is fucking cracked.
Yeah, it's 8 if you include Cubemon in it. Yeah.
Exactly. Like if you're training into
oh no,
Cubemon.
It is 9. My fault. Because then you like scramble and goes to a Volder arm. Because remember, you're going from Sakuya to Sakuya X. And then you go from Sakuya X to, yeah, that's what the 9 is. Yeah. Yeah, it's dumb. It's so dumb. Mind you, there's no drawback either to this drawing like this. There's no trash. There's no draw 2, trash 2. Like it's for every other normal sane card that's a draw card, there's no trash to it. Why is this a free pot of grade? Why is this like basically a graceful charity without the trash 2? Like it makes absolutely no sense. And their reason is because so you can draw into your multicolored options. So what? You're gonna draw into it anyways.
You know what? No. That's fair. Okay, that's fair. Let's just say we give them that, right? Let's read the reasoning. Draw 2 in this card's when Digivolving effect was for using multicolor options in Sakuyamon decks, but it also increases the consistency of Digivolving into a level 7 Digimon. As a result, along with EX2 Digievolution plugin S, this card limits options for future designs of level 7 Digimon that can Digivolve from yellow cards. For the above reasons, you're out. Now let me ask you this. If that was why Bandai, I'm asking you this, if you're watching this, you're a developer or whatever. If the reason for giving this Sakuyamon a draw 2 was for using multicolor option cards, why are they allowed to use scrambles? Why are they allowed to use like why did you make it so that they can use any? Because this one specifically says single color option, right? This one isn't even the one that's restricted to a yellow, I think like monocolor option. I think that's what one of the Sakuyamon say. This one is a single color option card, meaning that yes, you can use any of the plugins, but you can also, as long as you fulfill the requirements, use any option card in the game that costs a 5 or less. I understand the intent, but if that was the case, you should have increased the consistency of the deck by doing exactly this, but limiting them to only playing plugins.
Exactly.
And I think if they only played the plugins, this deck would have never even been on the ban. Because they would never
been a fair deck in the sense of what it was doing. Like,
exactly.
Not abusing scrambles. Like, yes, because of Sakuya X, you can still do 5 damage.
Right.
And I would rather take a Sakuyamon deck doing 5 damage in archetype using plugins and using all these resources than them going to Voldemort and stunning your whole board.
Right.
But also, I don't want them to be drawing 3 cards on Evo for no reason with no drawback. Because that's stupid.
And you know what?
There's literally no game in all of the goddamn world that doesn't have a card that there's no drawback. Like, there's a reason why Pot of Greed is banned, because draw 2, it's crazy.
What was it? It's just draw 2, right? It's not even like pay 1,000 life points.
No, it's just draw 2. That's why Pot of Greed is banned. That's why there's no card game in the world where there's like if they have a draw 2 on it without some type of cost to it. There's no cost to this. There's no backside to it. It's not like you're going to draw 2 in trash security or something, or, draw 2 in trash 2 or trash 3 or whatever it is. There's nothing to it.
So this is quite literally the equivalence of Pot of Greed, because if you look at the card economy, Pot of Greed was basically use it, draw 2. So you go down 1 hand size, you draw 2. So you replace it and then you +1.
Right.
This card's even better because
it's a +2.
You use a Taomon, you use a Sakuyamon X, and then 2 plugins or 2, let's say 2 evolution cards. But let's just say you're using 2 plugins because the plugin says draw 1. That is 5 cards used for 7 cards drawn, that is a +2 on card economy, which is insanity.
Yeah.
Crazy. So, yeah, this card, like, what the fuck ever, man. Like, I said it in a previous pod. I like that they tried to increase the diversity of what Sakuyamon can do by allowing it to use any option. I think that was a mistake. This deck should have just been limited to plugins, the same way that Justimon is limited
why is Justimon
to
so
devices.
goddamn limited versus this Sakuyamon plugin ass self?
Exactly. Because imagine if Justimon said, right, when digivolving, draw 2 and then use a device card.
Oh my god, that would have been beautiful.
Right. But this says draw 2 and then use any option, uncolor restricted. Yeah, this. And then now let's talk about Digievolution plugin. Due to the increase in the card pool, it is now easy to make moves that can immediately digivolve from a low level to a level 7 card. Among those, this card's draw 1 has made the consistency greater than originally intended. As with BT19 Sakuya, this card limits the design options for future level 7 cards that can digivolve from yellow cards. Say it right, Bandai. That's not even, you can't even digivolve into a level. There's very little level 7s. I don't think there's any in yellow that you can digivolve into using green Digievolution plugin. Because you want to know why I thought this card was super fair? Because it says digivolve for a Digievolution cost of 3 or less. The Digimon you digivolve into has to digivolve for 3 or less to be able to digivolve for free. So yeah, sure, you can go from Taomon into Sakuyamon for free. That's fine, whatever. It's in archetype, it's fine. But you can't go from Sakuyamon or Sakuya X into any of Balder Arm or Ruin mode. Typically, most level 7s cost 4. The ones that cost 3 are like in archetype or some sort of like maybe mode change. But even then, most of them cost 4. So like, that's like a cop-out reason too. Like, yes, they are going easy in the Ruin mode. But you know what's letting them go into Ruin mode? Or Balder Arm? Scramble.
Yeah. And again, this is another card where, yes, it says a 2 on it, but let's be real, it's a 0 cost in most cases. You are rarely ever just hard dropping this for 2 to Evo something like, you know, for, I guess you're reducing the Evo by 1, like a training-esque type of way. But it's never going to be used as that. You're using it in Taomon, which has the ability to use a plugin as a main body effect. And then guess what? It is also as an inheritable to be able to use it as a free cost. Sakuyamon's using it for free to get into Sakuya X. Like, you're just doing all this for free. There's no like actual cost to it. So plus there's a draw 1 on it for whatever goddamn reason. I get it. This came out in EX2.
For the state of the game, yes. Right.
I get it. EX2 time. Sakuyamon was an ass deck. It makes sense why it had a draw 1 on it. And again, back then, there wasn't many cards that can use it for free. I think it was just Sakuyamon. I don't even think this Taomon in EX2 era was be able to use it for free. I don't think. Don't quote me. I don't remember.
It was Play of the Rika. That's what it was on Digivolve.
Okay. And so I get it for back then. And it also has a good security. You can search off of security for some reason, which is pretty good, which is random too.
No, it's not, right? I mean, because the offensive plugin searched a Tamer. This one searched the Digimon. It added consistency. This was set up to be, again, I will say, I like this card. I think this card is super fair, all things considered. Yes, it's a draw 1. Yes, it replaces itself. Yes, they use it for free. But compared to what Scramble does for the same cost, this card is fair. This card is beyond fair. This card is super fair. You have to have a Tamer in play. So you can't just use it. You have to make sure you have a Rika in play or be playing a green deck. It replaces itself. Sure, it's a one-time use, and you have to have, it has to digivolve for 3 or less to be able to digivolve. All things considered, that's a fair freaking card. So why is Sakuyamon abusing Scramble? Because obviously they got to a point where they said, you know what? Why are we playing Digievolution plugin? Why do I have to restrict myself to playing this Rika so that I can play this plugin? What if I just say no and I just play Scramble? And so they did. And so they will continue to do. Yes, they now have only 5 free Digi-Evolutions instead of 8. But realistically, from what I can remember, they never played more than 4. They didn't play this card. They shirked Rika the same way that Growlmon and some Gallantmon decks shirked Takato.
Yes, it's yes and no. It was 2 different decks, though. A lot of people were still running the Rika version, though.
I saw more of the non-version, but I'll take your word for it.
And then JP was also still running this the way like this.
JP makes sense. Obviously, I don't keep up with the JP side because too much of a pain in the ass to look at all the results that come out from over there. But I would have rathered.
I'll take 8 free Evos over 4.
I guess.
I'm just saying. So like that's why the idea of it.
So we have now gotten past the banned cards and the restricted cards, but there's more. We have a banned pair. And they have now said that if you play Chaosmon Valderarm, you cannot play Taomon or Sakuyamon X. Likewise, if you play Taomon or Sakuya X, you cannot play Chaosmon Valderarm. So yes, you can still play Taomon and Sakuya X together. No, Taomon is not restricted. But you cannot use Chaosmon in the same deck as Taomon or Sakuya X. Don't say unfortunately. Don't say that shit. Fuck them. Fuck that deck, man. Fuck what they were able to do. Remember when I said that?
Did you not understand what I meant?
What you said?
I'm saying unfortunately Taomon is not at a 1-0.
Oh, I thought you meant unfortunately they can't use Chaosmon Valderarm anymore. I was like, whoa. Yes, unfortunately Taomon isn't limited, but you know what? Whatever. Their reasoning. Sakuyamon decks have powerful moves that allow for digivolving into a level 7 Digimon early in the game and for dominating the field. Bandai. I wonder why that is. In particular, BT17 Taomon's inherited effect and EX8 Sakuyamon X antibodies Your Turn effect allow for digivolving into BT20 Chaosmon Valderarm while attacking, giving players the ability to quickly reduce opponent security stacks while preventing them from making comebacks. I have thoughts on that, but we'll come back to that. We've determined that there aren't many decks that can counter this, and this harms the diversity of decks in the gameplay environment. All right. Where is it?
Go ahead.
While preventing them from making comebacks. If that was the case, why is Ruin Mode not next to Valderarm list?
Ooh, that's a good point.
If this is the case,
based on that wording, you're 100% right. Yep.
In particular, the inherited effect of Taomon, which is, mind you, if this Digimon has Sakuyamon in its name, you may use one option card that has plugin in its name or is yellow from your hand with the play cost reduced by 2 or the cost reduced by 2. What that means is a free scramble. Yes, you can't use and abuse Valderarm. And yes, of course, Valderarm is going to gain memory back and it has Sec +1. Yes, Valderarm is, where is it? Reducing the security stack quickly. But Ruin Mode is going to do a blanket 10k on a scramble play. What happened?
No, I was saying not all the time.
Well, yes, because they're going to swing the Sakuyamon and use the scramble to go into Ruin Mode, do the neg 5k, but they're already attacking, so they will do a blanket 10k when it dies at the end of attack, and then it comes back to, you don't play your turn because you have now been blanketed 10k. Now, yes, it comes back to their turn and they can't scramble something out, but they can still build something up and then put something out on the board that now you have to respond with. And because of the way Sakuyamon decks work, because they have memory gaining inheritables and Rika's able to gain memory when they use options, and because they're playing options for free like the memory boost and the training boost, they can just build up another stack, making it difficult for you to deal with that stack when you raise next turn and put you to 1 and say, do something, nerd. Why is Ruin Mode not next to Valderarm on this band pair? Which is my entire problem with why Digievolution plugin was hit, instead of trying to do something about the fact that Sakuyamon uses scrambles for fucking free. That's my issue.
Yeah, no, that's valid. I will say though, when it comes to the Ruin Mode part, it's easier to deal with a Ruin Mode than it is to deal with a Valderarm.
Sure, I agree. I hate Valderarm as a Royal Knights player, but still. It just... So how you feel about like Growlmon and them not hitting GrowlX is how I feel about Sakuyamon and them not... I know some people want Ruin Mode hit. I think Ruin Mode is a great card. It does exactly what it needs to do based on any given meta. To say, blanket 5k. The only deck prior that used to be able to blanket you 10k in a turn was Shine Greymon. And that was in archetype, and they would have to focus on playing Shine Grey Control instead of Shine Grey OTK. And that was fine. We now have this deck that does exactly what Shine Greymon used to do, while still applying pressure, and not only applying pressure, but gaining resources to do it faster and again and again and again, and prevent you from playing the game while they are progressing the game.
Say that last word again.
Prevent you from playing the game while they are progressing the game.
Oh, okay. You said progressing. Okay.
Yeah, professing.
you said pro-guessing at first, like guess.
Whatever. Yes, progressing the game. And it really highlights one of the core problems, or let me rephrase that. It highlights one of the core problems that I have with the current state of the game. And it has nothing to do with the meta. It has nothing to do with like the cards that we get. I think we're going in a fairly decent route. I've never, when I saw scrambles from the rip, I knew scrambles were busted. They were cracked cards. And sure, most decks only play them at 1 or 2, but Sakuyamon is freaking abusing them. And instead of trying to touch up how Sakuyamon, like, Dan, remember that car ride? I think we went to, we might have went to Mawa or somewhere. And me, you, and Gino were talking about how to deal with this. And we were talking about pair bans. And we said maybe they should just pair ban like Taomon, Sakuyamon, and scrambles.
That's what I said in the pod.
Right. It should have been done with scrambles, in my opinion. Like, sure, Sakuyamon loses the ability to play scrambles. Whoop-de-doo. You still have, because I wouldn't have, personally, I wouldn't have banned Digievolution plugin. Or, sorry, I wouldn't have restricted it. I would have let them keep Digievolution plugin, and I would have pair banned this Taomon. Taomon Ace can also use options as the inherited, right? So
no, it's not inherited.
Is it just on body? Okay, I think that's fine. I would have pair banned. What is that fine? Yeah,
pair banned.
Yeah, that's fine.
The two there and the scramble.
What does this Sakuyamon do? When digivolving, you can play the token, and then when one of your Digimon attacks, you may use. Oh yeah. I would have pair banned these two cards and yellow scramble. Leave green Digievolution plugin alone, because Sakuyamon would never, ever get a free level 7. Never. They would only if Bandai would release a 3 cost or less to Digivolve yellow level 7, which I don't think that they will. And if they do, then whatever, they discuss it then. But that would have been my pair ban. This pair ban, to me, I like it, but doesn't fix the problems. Sakuyamon is going to come back and still do things. And it's going to do the same ignorant shit that it was doing, sure, it's not going to lock down your board with Valder Arm, but it is going to blanket 10k you. And people are going to say, well, that's why Ruin Mode should be hit. No, because it doesn't matter if it's Ruin Mode. It matters, like any yellow level 7 that we get can be abused. And they should not be allowed to have any free Digi-Evolution into a level 7. Let me put it this way. Let me cap my argument off with this.
It's not free for Ruin Mode.
Sorry.
They're still going to play.
Sorry.
It was still even for like 2.
It's not free. It's a 2-cost Digi-Evolution into Ruin Mode.
I'm just saying.
Sorry.
The reason why it's free,
I'm sorry. I understand that point.
Stupid effect.
I understand that point, and I do acknowledge that. But if MDF was freaking restricted for easy access to level 7, why is Sakuyamon getting cheap level 7s? Because that 2 cost to Digivolve with all the memory that Sakuyamon is gaining because of Inheriteds and Rikas means that they can still put you to 1 on a blanket 10k and say, deal with it, nerd.
Yeah.
And I don't think that's healthy. And that's my problem with this. I appreciate the thought, but I don't like it for that reason.
I will take, because this is the last of it. So now, Sakuyamon, for me at least, it's cool. Like, I'm good with the pair band. I'm good with it. I don't like scrambles in general just because scramble, whatever. So they're not going to touch up the scrambles because they're generic. They're not going to do anything with them, whatever. I'll take them not doing 5 checks, 5 checks, Volder, and lock down my board any day. And so I'm cool with that. I'm cool. Sakuyamon is dead as we know it. In the sense of this version of Sakuyamon running, the Volder Arm, SakuyaX, yada, yada, yada. Problem is the deck in general, and the archetype, is not dead, right? So, all right, cool. We can't play Volder Arm. We're going to have 4 scrambles. We're going to have 1 Digivolution plug-in. We're going to go into Ruin Mode. You can do a more control variant. Or you can go, all right, I'm going to go into what the deck is supposed to do, which is run plugins, run some jamming, run some second attack +1. Like I mentioned before, that SakuyaX can do hella damage still, regardless. SakuyaX can go 2 checks, unspend 2 checks, swing with a rush token. That's 5 damage right there. And can you deal with this? And then after that, if they want to, they can go scramble and go into a Ruin Mode. That's an issue as well. You think about it when you think about it like that. Because then it's like, there's a Ruin Mode, there is a rush token, and then there's a blocker token.
Yep.
And so now that's 3 bots you got to deal with. Can some decks deal with it? Yeah, sure, no problem. Some decks can't. And that's going to be maybe an issue. Maybe it won't be as bad as we think it is. It could just be, an okay deck at that point. Or it could be still like tier 1 problem. I don't know where it's going to be when it comes to like that type of version of it. But then there's also December coming around. There's called a advanced deck coming specifically for Sakuyamon. And who knows how cracked some of those cards can be. I feel like they probably, if they're hitting that draw 2 one, they're probably going to get something that's pretty decent at least. Probably obviously not going to have a draw effect on it. But I'm sure it's going to be something that's pretty good, I expect. And whatever new options it gets, because they mentioned they were getting a new option. So that all depends on what those are as well. And we'll see what happens. But the deck, for those Sakuyamon enjoyers, you gotta play a little differently, unfortunately, for you, I guess.
Yeah, they do. And I know they will. And it's just gonna be hella annoying for me. So now we got the post-comment review. This was from Dan's post-reaction video. So Tesmix said, at this point, everyone should just build Galaxy since it dodged the list again. You get 5 to 8 months of no hits, and anytime Bandai releases a good blue, red, purple, or yellow, because of Apollo Ace, level 7, you can slot it in. Omni wasn't going to get hit yet since it's still new, but if it keeps performing, it will likely get a hit later. Purple Hybrid should do a bit better now too. Gallant is still very good. Both Imperials will likely see more play, and Puppets is one to keep an eye on. It does open up the field.
Agreed.
Galaxy is definitely, Galaxy, Co and Sayo, baby. Or is it Sayo and Co? I think it's Sayo and Co. whatever.
I think it's Co's out. No, it's Co's out.
The red tamer. I'll
yeah,
put it like
I
that.
always just call it red tamer at this point.
Yeah. Global Digital Empire, in all seriousness, no, I think it was a good list. See where the meta shakes out. Need to do a new update every 3 to 4 months instead of 6 months, just in case. GrowlX lives, though, and surprise, no unrestrictions. I know everyone wants GreyX. Maybe next update, if the game is more spread out, then they'll add a couple back. Personally, Greymon X is on the list forever. If Greymon X was going to come off the list, it would have came off the list 2 lists ago. And especially now with more Greymon support coming out and them still not taking it off the list, it is never coming off the list. If 2 lists ago was the time for it to come off the list, and now we're getting more Greymon support, and now is like the big time for it to come off the list, it hasn't come off the list yet, it is on the list forever. That's how I feel about that.
I agree.
Galaxy hasn't done much in the past couple months, ? Winning the World's Tournament, ? The dude got me out in top 8 in the World Tournament. Not touching the Red Tamer level 4 Gauga is just wrong. This deck list is not good enough. Dan said, unfortunately, I don't think Bandai looked at Worlds. Trust me, I fully believe the Red Tamer should be hit too. Yeah, I mean, that's a given.
Yeah, they confirmed to us what they looked at. They looked at the last 3 months of tournament results. Whether they looked at ours or not, I don't know, but they for sure looked at JP.
Even if they looked at ours, I don't think there were many like topping Galaxy lists.
It was like, because I've seen a lot of people like over the last couple, I guess, weeks that were talking about like predictions, and they made all like the spreadsheets and all that, the pie charts. Galaxy was like not even like, it was barely a top 10 like percentage wise, barely like top 10. I think it might have been like a 5% or something like of all of them, something like that. Like it wasn't that high, and then
so it makes
like
sense.
Convert well either, so
it makes sense why it skirted the ban list along with my most hated nemesis, Davis and Ken.
And again, here's the issue with the ban list. Like again, I don't mind it being, because we basically know it's gonna be every 6 months. You're gonna get one guaranteed between August and September. We're gonna get one between February and March.
Say right. You're gonna get one after Worlds, and you're gonna get one before the first round of English Nationals. Is how it boils out.
I mean, we didn't have
before
the year prior.
Sorry, let me rephrase. Before the start, before the start of season 1, and before the start of season 2, is how it boils out.
Back then, we didn't have different seasons. But anyways,
yes, yes, we did. Yes, we did. It was wave 1 and wave 2 is what it was.
Okay.
Now it's season 1 and season. So,
which is usually around August, September, and then March and February, March, right? So like we kind of get that, which is cool. And here's the issue with some of those decks that we always like complain about. Imperial, for example, right? The problem is the ban list happens. Imperial is still good.
Yep.
Imperial is always good. And then sets come out, and then it's like, Imperial can't do jack shit against them. And then it falls off. And then it doesn't get played. And then it comes back. It's this revolving door that always happens because
it always happens.
Imperial is this weird deck where it's really good, but then at the same time, when really good decks come out, it's not good. Like that's how it always happens when it comes to that deck. And that's why we never see it on any ban list ever outside the Stingmon, but the Stingmon did do nothing about it. Like that Stingmon did nothing. And so
it did something for JP. Put some respect on JP's meta.
Sure, on JP, yeah, sure. And they still played it like it was nothing. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like I get it, but it still really didn't do much. Like they were probably laughing their butts off too. Even though they played it at 4, they were probably like, "Oh, we'll just follow like the US now," you know, the EN.
Yeah. And
so, like Imperial's so weird. So watch like Imperial like win Nats now or something, you know? And then because it won Nats, new stuff pops off and then it just falls off again or something, you know?
But yeah, so it's gonna fall off, and what's gonna happen is like it's gonna be good for this little burst period, but it's not gonna be good enough to pop on the ban list again. And it's going to forever haunt me. It's going to forever.
It's always going to be like that. And that goddamn Wormon that should get hit because of, you know,
because of Imperial.
It won't never get hit when it needs to get hit. That card is so crazy in that deck. I will forever say that.
Midnight Lucario said Garuda didn't really need the hit. It was the Gil engine that was the problem, not the birds. Dan said, so even if you did the same Gil engine hits without Garuda X, they would still use the GrowlX engine, and GrowlX would still give Inigiyamon Rush and keep on doing the same things it has been, which is the exact sentiment we did earlier in this video and on the last video. That's the biggest thing. Like, GrowlX was a surprise hit, but realistically speaking, it is a good preemptive, like in the long term, right? Yeah. It is a preemptive hit. Even it's not even like it's a preemptive hit, because like it did do something, but it's just like, this is good for trying to limit future game design, or not to limit future game design.
On point, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that Dan guy, man. And then we just had this comment come through approximately, let me refresh the page and I can tell you exactly how many minutes it came ago. 2 hours ago. Man doesn't know what Scorched Earth means. Also, Sakuyamon could still OTK you while floodgating you, and it can still go into level 7 turn 2. So fun. So obviously, you know, I had my little rant acknowledging that. Yeah, Scorched Earth. So the reason, let me tell you guys something. All right. You guys probably clicked into that video because I said Bandai went Scorched. Okay. If I had just named that, and I'm being real and transparent with y'all, there has been a distinct, actually, I have it even better. I have played around with 3 different titles for the latest podcast that came out, which Gino and Dan did about the Digimon series, right?
Yeah.
One title was the definitive Digimon anime tier list or something like that. Was not taking. Another title was something like, and we decided the best Digimon series is, and then there was some sort of third title. And in terms of video performance, that podcast is number 8 out of our 10 most recent videos. So that it has performed, I'll tell you what it performed worse than. It has performed worse than the new BT22 Tyranomon support sucks. Free Greymon X, Tyranomon is trash. The definitive BT22 Cyber Eden set review. DigiChats featuring Carney X. It's time to ban Scrambles and a bunch of other stuff. Which, mind you, Dan hated that title, okay? Dan literally said to me, I don't know how I feel about this. And I said to him, me neither, but I don't have anything else to drive people to watch this video. And so that's why I said, you know what, fuck it. I talked about Scrambles. We feel strongly about Scrambles. Let's make that the highlight. And it performed well. It's the number 2 in our top 10 most recent videos. And then, of course, Dan's video, Bandai went Scorched Earth with this ban list, is first at currently sitting, guess what? 1.4 thousand views.
Hey, appreciate the views, guys. Hey, Varni, what my check look like for that video?
Yeah, right. Hold on. I will tell you right now. I'll be completely transparent. Analytics revenue, $6.29.
Hey, let's go. We got $6, baby, in the bag.
So
hey, that's your pay, Lucas. There you go. You're done.
I try my best not to really give you guys these like
over the top.
I understand that
sometimes,
like, because I do hate it as well. I try to make any title I have like clickbaity within reason. I want you guys to click on the video and watch it, whether you are a subscriber or you are not a subscriber. Because, and you know, this last bit of pod, like you guys can probably exit for if you didn't care to be here for the, oh, Varney's going to talk about YouTube analytics side of thing, but I'm gonna give you the real YouTuber light of things. This video has had better performance than our typical video. It has also had about average watch time for being I think this was an 18-minute video. Because of the views, the watch time averages out to about what it is for a normal video, being the podcast. How viewers found this video? So actually, I can just share this page. Sorry, Lucas. 204, I got it. Let me just hit share screen and video analytics. So this is the analytics for this video. It's gotten, 1391 views since published. Most of our views has come from browse. A good portion has come from suggested videos. And then, sure, I went and I didn't even promote this in like Discord or anything.
Yeah, we didn't.
Because normally I'll go and I'll post this on Reddit and I'll post it on Discord. I posted it on our Facebook, and that was about it. So that's probably coming. You can probably see that, I guess, like here, direct or unknown. But right here, YouTube recommendations, 81.7% of our views came from YouTube recommendations, and in particular, 72% came from YouTube home. That means when you opens up YouTube, this video appeared. That means people who were watching this video, enough of the audience was, I could go a little bit in depth the way that the algorithm works, but what it effectively means is that because of the amount of people who watch this video in its first like hour, right? Like here's the first 3 hours, it garnered 350 views, when typical for us is 90 to 130. Enough people watched it that YouTube pushed and pushed and pushed and pushed this video out into your YouTube feed. And that's why you saw this video. Only 5.9% of our views came from the subscription feed. It is important. It is extremely important for me to put a title that makes you guys want to click on it. There are some of you who will say, but Varni, I'll click on it anyways. And you know what? I appreciate you. I love you for that. Thank you. But there are a very large portion of people who will not. There is a very large portion of people, like right here, new viewers, 34.6% on that video. 40% of you are our casual viewers, and 26.1% are our regular viewers. Between our casual and new viewers, that's like 75% of you clicked on this video. So
that's crazy.
I'm sorry I had to go a little bit hyperbolic with it, but it had to be done to get you guys to click on the video. Now, I will say, because I try to, I'm going to stop sharing. I do try to make things clickbaity within reason. So when I say scorched earth, I mean Sakuyamon got wrecked in its current iteration. Royal Knights got touched up. Gas got touched up. Megidramon, the Growlmon decks. So technically 3 iterations of the deck got hit.
Correct.
Gravity Crush, red decks in general got hit, and black decks in general got hit, and the loop deck got hit. I mean, technically speaking, bro, that's like what?
6-7 decks right there.
Yeah, that's like 8 decks.
Yeah.
And that kind of feels, sure, it's not like they obliterated, like they went and if they had touched Omnimon, that probably would have been like truly scorched earth, and this would be an entirely different conversation. But I think that's scorched earth enough. But I'm not going to argue over semantics. I just wanted to say that half of the titles come out because I'm trying to get you guys to click on these damn videos. So if you like the videos, share them with your friends. Tell them to watch the content. The
Hit
last
the like button
thing
while you're at it.
I will say is a comment from Facebook from Ryan, which was such a good comment. I had to touch on it here. When we posted this video on Facebook, someone said, wouldn't really consider this a scorched earth ban list. Ryan said, if you went full scorched earth, where would you draw the line? You would have so many people leave the game, it wouldn't be sustainable. They slapped Sakuya hard, knowing its advanced deck is coming. They got rid of a couple key pieces to Geo Rush, removed generic Red Rush, which is that comment when he said generic Red Rush is what made me think, okay, this is probably like a design direction that they might be heading in or removing from design. They got rid of a couple key pieces to I already said that, sorry. They took away some of Royal Knight's flexibility. They killed the gas deck and they hit memory gain. Realistically, what more would you want done? And don't say scrambles in training. There wasn't a reply to this, but I liked that a lot because realistically, yeah.
Straight up, that's facts. Like, what else would you want them to do?
The only other thing I would want them to do is exactly what I said about Sakuyamon and Ruin Mode. But outside of that, everything else was pretty on point in terms of what a ban list should be doing. Shaking up the meta, not killing decks. I don't want Sakuyamon to die as a deck, but I want it to be fair. I don't like unfair decks. We don't like Takamikazuchi because Takamikazuchi says, I'm playing the game by myself. You know?
Yeah,
we didn't like that.
Sakuyamon became.
It's what it became. And sure, it doesn't have that necessarily, but to this person's point, IKDB, I think their name is, it can still put a level 7 on board early, come out and hit you in the face with blanket 5, blanket 10k. And yes, that is definitely a thing that can still happen. So my hit, yeah, I just want Sakuyamon touched up. And personally, I will always want Davis and Ken gone. And yes, before you say, well, what about the other teamers? Yeah, get them out of here too, because Davis and Ken is busted because they have a good freaking Pyuldramon. But all it takes is a good Sylphimon and a better Shakumon for Cody and TK and Yoli and Kari from BT16 to also become abusable. So yes, get all 3 of them out of here. Unfortunately, what I was alluding to earlier in the video, Bandai won't hit things unless they're a problem. And that's why personally, I want a more frequent, even if it's, I don't want to, let me put it this way, I don't want a more frequent ban list, but I want communication. I want them to acknowledge that this is the state of the game. I want them to say for everybody who says, oh, I don't like Medieval and I think Medieval's toxic, whether, regardless of your personal feelings, I want them to either come out and say, well, we're fine with what Medieval is doing in today's game. It's exactly as we anticipated. Or, yes, we acknowledge that Medieval's a problem and it could potentially hit the ban. Because I'm just tired of, like, we got this ban list right and we're not getting the next one until March-ish. I don't remember when Worlds or when Nationals 2 is next year.
Just count 6 months from now.
So let's say March next year. I'm upset with the fact that if Omnimon is this big bad deck that everybody's complaining about, and that if it is the bona fide, undisputed #1 in the world best deck in format, that there is a possibility that this deck doesn't get hit until the ban list because there is no communication. Yes, in the past they have done an emergency ban list for APOC, and they've been forced to give us communication because of the APOC situation. But that should not be how it goes. You are running a card game.
But they also,
good.
I was gonna say they also gave us communication on Shadow Mother too.
Right. So okay. So they gave us communication on Shadow Mother. Why can't we have more of that? Why can't there be some sort of like community ambassador? I mean, shit, a community ambassador would be great, right? We already know. I'm not trying to put anyone on the spot, but we already know East is like Bandai Central over in Japan. So like we know that they have connections with both content creators as well as just people in the community. Why can't we have a sort of community ambassador to even just say, yeah, they know. Doesn't have to be, yeah, they're going to do something about it. Just, yeah, they know, because it's just communication, lack of communication sucks, man. That's all I want. But, you know, it's been 2 hours. So I think
we're at another 10 minutes. No. We got final thoughts on, you know, the ban list and what we think the implications of what's going to look like.
Oh, we already kind of talked about that. Omni.
Do we think it's going to be problematic? Do we think it's going to be fine? Do we think it's going to be, you know, a free for all with a bunch of other decks? Is it going to be like a big 3, or are we going to have like just a B diff? Like, what do we think it's going to be?
What is Ultra? Let me look up what Ultra S does, and then I'll tell you.
I'll tell you what it does. It's when Digivolving pop. When Digivolving, it's unaffected by your opponent's effects. End of attack, you place in security,
say
you
it right.
your body out.
Wait, does the Omni deck, do they only warp to Greymon and Garurumon?
Yeah.
Okay. So I ask that because this only pops highest level. So does this mean that you can play the floodgates against them where they can't play Digimon by effects? Does that affect them? Do they have a way to easily remove that?
You can easily go around that effect though.
How so?
You just Evo.
What do you mean just Evo?
Like no Kia just makes you Evo. That's all. You don't have to.
But like Evo into what? Like just
your
Evo
Melga and War Gray.
No, but what I mean is whatever. Like Ultra-S's end of attack. It means that they can't play anything for the end of attack, right?
Oh yeah. Sorry. Yeah.
So there is counterplay. Sure, they can get into Ultra-S, but then the end of attack will fizzle because if you have, let's say you end turn, you have your boss monster, and then you drop the floodgate, they can remove the boss monster, but they don't have raid.
You should read Melga and War Greymon.
Okay, that's what I was asking. Damn, Dan.
They're just
asking. Damn, Dan.
I didn't understand what your question. That's my issue.
Which Melga am I reading?
CS ones.
The CS ones.
CS and the CS Wargray and Melga.
All right, let's see. Wargray is. Yeah, so Nokia. All right, so Nokia would let you digivolve to 1, and then the 1 would let you. But no, but you can't use their effects, right? Because if you go Nokia to go into 1, you would use the Wargray to go into the Melga, or vice versa, and then the other Melga one
bounced up lowest.
But then you wouldn't DNA like if you're passing turn.
Yeah, you would.
Oh, do the rookies have end of turn?
Yeah.
Oh, got it.
End of turn DNA.
Oh, got it. So it's delete lowest DP and then bounce lowest level. Okay, so then yeah. Well, that's what I was asking. Yeah. Damn.
I didn't understand your question.
Yeah, so that makes it tough. I mean,
the best floodgate currently at the moment is the Sakuyamon that says you can't ignore Digivolution requirements, so you can't go from an Agu to Wargray and so on.
And there's only one of that, right? That's the one in black.
Black,
of course.
So that's the issue. I mean, there's ways to deal with the deck. It's just hard, like tamer removal. That's why some people, like especially in like our group chat, was talking about like Galacticmon might be like up there again because they can pop Nokia. Like
how
the
fast
deck
is
does
Omni
nothing
though?
about Nokia.
But how fast is Omni?
You can go fast or you don't go fast.
Is it just like you see your pieces, not necessarily win, but like if you see like Nokia, Agu, I mean, I guess you do have to be a little bit piece reliant, but
so here's like your best combo starting. If you're going first, you go into one of the rookies. You either, the preferred would be drop Mirai for 3 to trash 1, draw 2. Next turn you raise your rookie, Mirai effect, play Nokia effect, play the opposite rookie, and then you go, Wargray into Melga, DNA, swing, a suspense swing, or whatever. That's like your best turn 2 play right there. Like you can do that pretty easily. It's not hard to do it. The issue is sometimes it's getting there. Like, do you have all the pieces in your hand? Because that's like 5-6 pieces you need. But because the draw and sometimes the searching ability you can do in the deck, pretty easy to get to it. MMK is such a go-to card, being able to grab something from trash as well, or play from your hand. There's a lot of searching going on in the deck. There's a free draw in Sumimon. You're going black base. There's like so many different things to get there that it's not hard to get there. If you have 2 Ultra S's, it's auto win, basically.
Is Omni only 15k? Does it get any buffs?
Nokia is all turns plus 1k. So you have 1 that's 16, you have 2 that's 17. Next question. Yeah, that's why people are thinking like, I know you read the Facebook groups, a lot of people talking about like, oh my god, Omnimon is gonna be crazy, this menace. It could be, it could not be. I don't know. We don't know yet fully.
It's hard to say. It looks very strong on paper.
It's on paper. It's definitely gonna be very strong. I've played a lot of it. I've done the Ultra S loop turn and you just kill someone.
Actually,
at 5.
You know what I'll say? It's you said that was all turns on Nokia for the plus 1k, right?
1k. Yeah.
When does EX10 come out?
After that. Well, Black War, yeah.
Let's just say it runs rampant for Nats. I think it's gonna be fine. I think it's gonna be fine. Because Black Wargray is what I was thinking about. Black Wargray, your Wargray and Melga are natively 12 and they'll buff to 13, meaning that Black Wargray is now unaffected by anything that the deck does. And it's also going to buff itself up to 15, plus you're going to have the line that could potentially buff it.
Yeah.
Or you'll have like, maybe if you're playing Yuko or whatever it is, Black Wargray will be able to, generally speaking, it should be able to either block or at least give some sort of presence against the might of Ultra S.
I think so. Yeah. Plus, remember, it's a Papa Tamer effect too. So
right,
it could definitely
and it's an ace. So if they're not sequencing correctly, and you do happen to ace them, they should. Or if you have protection, because Greymon X and stuff is still a card.
Yeah.
you could get around it. There's also Belphamon, who is Belphamon.
A beast. Yeah, it's a beast of a card.
He's just
so like in the future of EX, I think EX10 and above, because EX has a lot of strong cards, and I think that's going to be, you know, different. But like in the current format, I don't know. I can't say in the current like it's going to be like crazy. I think we have a lot of potentially really good decks, and a lot of decks that could just OTK now out of nowhere or whatever. It's just going to be hard to, in my opinion, to like, can you go through like an 8 or 9 round tournament and be able to like consistently beat an Omnimon deck? You know what I'm saying? That's what's going to be hard for non-Omni decks
on the flip side, can Omni high roll, you know, all of those rounds? Maybe not high roll, sorry, but can they? Because the deck inherently is a little bit inconsistent because it's threes. If you're the opponent and you don't kill them and you just hit security and you're like, whoops, my bad, I gave you a Nokia, GG. Sometimes legit. Yeah, that is.
Or
that
whoops,
is fair.
I hit Mireille, I gave you draw power. Whoops, I gave you Ty and Matt. Now you can swing your Alteress and a turn now. Whoops, I hit, you know, MMK and gave you free resources. Like, it is so much that's like scary to hit in that deck now. It's like, oof.
Yeah,
you can't
I don't
OTK
know.
sometimes. It's like rough.
I think in the current format, like going into nationals, like it's open and Omni is positioned to be the best deck, but it's open enough that I think it's fine because heading in EX10, Omni may still be, it could still be best deck, but there is a lot more to contend against it. There's a lot more going to happen. I'll tell you guys this, in Grand Archive, we have a card called Rally Abyss currently that basically says draw 3. It's Eismon. It's draw 3, trash 2. You play it, you draw 1, then you trash 2 cards, and you draw 2 more. And the 2 cards that you trash, you can use for other effects. That card is currently in what we call Category 2, which means that the devs are looking at it. They acknowledge that it is potentially a problem. And if it continues to be a problem, it will move to Category 3, where it is banned. One thing that has basically been said is it is the start of the meta. It is we just had our first big event. It was 270 some players. So that was our first big event of the format. And they said before they make any moves, because we get that update every month. And this is why I have problems with the way that Bandai runs their game. Next month, when our next event happens, so it's about maybe 3 weeks from now, after that event, they will determine effectively whether they are going to move that card to banned, keep it where it is, if they're seeing improvement, or remove it entirely. And that's what it kind of feels like. I mean, I can have whatever gripes I have about Sakuyamon, and Dan can have his gripes about GrowlX, but enough has been changed that it's going into this format. Yes, Omni does look to be positioned. And for what it's worth, there will always be a best deck in the format. There will inherently be one deck that is, even if it's just a smidge, better than the rest. It is the cases where that deck is all the way up here. And if that deck is all the way up here, that means the deck is tier 0 and we need an emergency ban. So I think we're well positioned enough to go into nationals. Maybe Omni will dominate, but I think players should brew and see what they can come up with to beat Omnimon if they're not playing Omnimon. Or if you are going to play Omnimon, you know, obviously it's, I guess, just win, I guess, is all you're doing. I think we're well positioned enough. And that's where I'll leave us at.
For sure. I think the ban list was an A list. That's what the grade I would give it. My grade still doesn't change from that video I did. I still think it's they did what they needed to do, and that's what's important.
Do you remember what grade I gave it?
What, the last one?
No, I said it. No, I said it in like chat or something, and you were like, "Really? You're gonna do it over that?" I can't remember what the.
Oh, when you said it was like I think you said like a B or something because it didn't hit.
I might have said either B or B minus because of Tropical Venom.
Because they didn't hit Tropical Venom.
And I will keep that grade, but not because of Tropical Venom. I will keep it because of the Sakuyamon stuff. Specifically because of just the acknowledgement of the problems, but not truly dealing with the core issue at hand. And for what it's worth, just a bit of Dan's concerns about the I was about to say fucking Garurumon. Fucking, what is his name? Growlmon.
GrowlX.
Good lord. All these G Digimon. Growlmon X decks potentially causing problems with future game design. I'll give it a solid B+. I'll deduct it a letter grade for Sakuyamon, but I think the rest of it was really solid. So, and it does enough movement and doesn't kill any deck, which is the most important part, right? We all like playing the game, and we don't like seeing our favorite decks hit. Well, that's a lie. It did kill birds. Sorry, birds.
A little
players.
bit, yeah.
You guys.
One more thing.
You guys do have to play.
For anyone that, for anyone that says they, decks that weren't like problematic throughout the format needs to get hit, like Purple Hybrid, go kick rocks. Because just because Purple Hybrid won a tournament does not mean it needs to get hit again. Like, let's relax, people.
This is true.
More of a pilot-oriented style deck now. Like, it's a good deck. It does not need to be murdered to the ground again because you don't like Duskmon what Duskmon does. You don't like what Velgramon does. I don't want to hear it. Keep your complaints over there. Go kick rocks. That deck is not going to get hit. And same with any other deck that was like in that mid-range of being good, but not like overly broke anymore. And it already got hit.
As a famous, well, maybe not so famous, but I watch Love is Blind with the wife every so often. And as somebody said from I think like season 5 or something of Love is Blind, go kick rocks with open toe shoes. And with that being said, that is it for today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. If you guys like this episode, please do drop a like, drop a comment letting us know what your thoughts are on the ban list if you haven't already done so. And if you have, let us know what you think about our thoughts and if you agree or disagree with us, or if you're neutral, because that's also a thing you do. And most importantly, subscribe, hitting the notification bell so that you know when future videos come out. If you're on Spotify, hit that follow button. Make sure you rate the podcast 5 stars out of 5, because like Dan said, we are the best Digimon podcast on the planet. No, I'm just kidding. But, we would appreciate a good and honest review. And that's it for today's episode of DigiPod, the digital podcast. Thank you guys for listening. Until we talk to you guys the next time. Peace out.
Catch y'all on the next one.